and welcome to Thursday with a Friend. My name is Lawrence, and as you can see, I still have my pile of figures that the Punisher and the Black Widow have decimated. And I think Elf is the one that really got people upset in the picture. So anyway, thank you guys all for joining. I have a wonderful guest, and this is another guest that I met at Joe Fest. I know you guys probably get tired of hearing me rant and rave about Joe Fest, but I've met so many good people in person there. But anyway, my next special guest in this installment of Thursday with a Friend is Airbornes Customs. Darren, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
And it is Airbornes, right? I had to double check
Airbornes.
because I first made it, and then I had to go back and fix it. I'm like, damn it. How are you doing?
Yep. I'm doing all right. Just
Thank you.
working like crazy.
Hey, you know what? It's that's what we do, right?
Unfortunately.
We work hard so we can enjoy that special week at the end of June.
Yeah, and all this junk behind me.
It's not junk. It is so junk.
Some of it is at this point. That G.I. Joe stuff's not junk, but some of it is.
No, again, like I've actually started to purge some of my stuff, where I've really taken a hard look at some of the stuff, and I'm like, all right, you know what? The house isn't getting bigger. Maybe it's time to start purging some of this stuff. I have a hard time getting rid of stuff because I've never bought stuff and collected stuff that was cool at the time. I bought stuff because I wanted it. So when I'm like, hey, it's time to get rid of some of this stuff, I pick it up and I'm like, yeah, I bought this for a reason. I don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah, and like my name with Airbornes Customs, that all started like 20 years ago when I was doing a lot of customizing and everything. So a lot of the stuff that I've bought over the years, like I've just bought extras and stuff to use for customs. And then here over the past like 10 years or so, I keep buying it and don't have time to do the damn customs.
So where does the name come from, Airborne's Customs? Now, obviously, you were doing customs, but where does Airborne's come from?
I was an Army paratrooper.
Okay, see, I wasn't sure about that. I didn't know if you just loved the character Airborne, who was one of my favorites. Come to find out, he's Native American too, which really means nothing.
And his name's Airborne, but he's more air assault trooper and everything, which is a completely different thing from airborne. And you start getting into it with the airborne and the air assault guys, and they're going to fight over which is better.
Yeah, and as a kid, I know there are some people that go, I knew that wasn't a parachute, but as a kid, you're like, oh, that's a parachute, but that's kind of weird that they put it's kind of weird that they put the shovel in I'm sorry, the entrenching tool. I get yelled when people get mad when I call it a shovel. Isn't it
an knee tool?
Yeah, it's a fucking shovel. I don't care how you put it. Like, but no one ever thought Duke came with one. That's the funniest thing. Exact same backpack. No one was like, Duke comes with a parachute. Oh, Airborne, he comes with a parachute.
And neither one of them come with a damn parachute.
Exactly. Yep. The best thing is they didn't even show him parachuting. He was literally coming down the rope.
Yep, from a helicopter.
Yes, but none of us we were kids, right? So like we didn't care, right?
Like, oh yeah, and I didn't know what the hell it was until I joined.
He had a cool bayonet, which I believe that is also that's illegal, is it not? Bayonets?
No,
they're not. Okay.
No, not. I mean, we trained with them still.
Okay.
Like when we went through basic training, I mean, that was 2002 now. They trained us with how to use the bayonets, how to fight with them and everything, how to yank them off the end of the rifle and everything and use them hand to hand if we needed to. They taught us all that. And I guess my son will let me know in a couple of months if they still teach it in basic training now, because he's about to head out too.
I thought it was outlawed for some reason. I know blowtorch is war crimes for sure.
Yeah. Blowtorches are against the Geneva Convention.
But
that's if you're using them on people.
Yeah,
I
if you're
mean,
using like to get rid of like the weeds and everything, that's the new thing.
right, but you're not going to see a military unit carrying the things. So
Yeah, but also isn't there like wasn't like the average life expectancy like in battle like 3 seconds from those guys?
I don't know, but I wouldn't want to be carrying a big old gas tank on my back.
You don't want that with bullets flying by you.
No.
Anyway, let's say hi to the chat really quick. We have Baldy Locks Reviews, one of the Circle of Jerks. We got Evil Dookie saying not last. The Mr. Wonderful. We have Machine Man, Beardy McBearderson, SCS Dog. We have Jeremy Kimberlin has joined us, another Army veteran, the crusty old crow. And then we have Extra Creepy saying fucking shovel. Now, this guy is not new to who I am. He's seen me on Circle of Jerks, but he is new to this channel. So he gets a.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
And then this guy here, Dead Linked, I've also never seen. You're also going to get the.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. You gotta understand, man. I never even saw these assholes before.
We got Double Dog and wait, it's Extra Creepy jumped up here. I meant to say hi to Action Figs, my other moderator. It's Thursday night. Let's talk about punk. Hey, wait till we meet up next weekend. You can hear me talk all about myself. I get to go out to New York, so he's gonna drive out and go spend the day together. And I can talk about myself just to kind of warm him up for Joe Fest when it'll be great if someone actually notices me while we're hanging out in Webster, New York. Oh, he'd lose his shit.
Yep.
All right. So, do you mind me asking how old you are and like whereabouts you grew up and what your family life was like?
42 as of this past Sunday.
You're young.
Well, I feel old. I mean, the beard's going white and everything because of work and stuff. But I mean, hell, by the time I make it to Joe Fest, I may have a full Santa beard and all.
Yeah. I decided to grow it just to see how gray it is and how bald it is. And then I was gonna shave it, I think last week, but it got cold again. I'm like, just wait.
I literally shaved mine today. I had to get rid of it, whatever hair was growing up there. I'm just ready for it to all fall out.
I've been saying the same thing, but it doesn't. And I
No.
every 2 days I have to shave my head, and I go through a razor every 2 shaves. So it starts to get more expensive. And I've told people that before. I'm like, man, I go, it could probably cost me more in razors than to get haircuts for being a man. If you're a woman, no, like, we're not spending $120 on hair.
Oh, hell no. I don't even understand why my son goes and gets his hair cut and everything because my wife wants him to. I'm like, no, just let me shave it. It's free.
Well, one day he'll make his own decisions. Not till he gets out of the military, but
well, yeah, he's about to go in. He's signed a 6-year contract and everything, but he's going active duty. So, as for where I'm from, Rock Hill, South Carolina, pretty much been here my entire life. Other than the couple of years or so I was down at Clemson, where both my kids were born and all. No, I'm not a Clemson fan. I'm a Gamecocks fan. I just went to Clemson because they had architecture. So,
so if you're in South Carolina, you're not far from Joe Fest, are you?
nope. It takes me about 2 hours and everything to get down to Augusta.
That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
so I'm right below Charlotte.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Look at this. We got Tony's Figs jumping in here saying happy belated birthday, Darren.
Thank you,
And
Tony.
Viper Scout also has jumped in here. All right. So what was your family life like? Were your parents together? Did you have siblings?
One sibling, one biological sibling. So my mom and dad were together the first 10 years. Then they divorced. Then my mom and my stepdad got together, and I have a stepsister and two stepbrothers from my stepdad's side. I actually lost my mom and my stepdad. My stepdad at the end of 24, and my mom at the beginning of 25. So, and then my dad, I don't really have a relationship with my dad anymore. Just stuff that happened over the years.
Unfortunately, it happens for some people, and and as a kid, I know I didn't understand that because my mom passed away when I was so young. So when I would hear people belittle or berate especially their moms, but either one of their parents, and not realizing what they don't have. But then as you get older, you realize not everyone had the same relationship.
Yeah.
And so everyone's path is completely different. So when I would see people that would say how much they hate their mom, and I don't think most people did, but like my ex, I never met her mom. She was an awful person. Everything that anyone ever said about her. And literally when she passed away, I got a text from my ex, right? We got kids together, that said, mother dearest died last night. And I was like, seriously, how are you doing? She's like, I'm fine. I just want my pictures. Like, all right. Well, my kids never met her, no idea who she is. So everyone has a different path, man.
As my kids know my dad, but I mean, he's never around. Well, he's in a home now and everything, but he was never around when they were little. Even when we moved back up here, he didn't come up here. My mom was she was everything for them. So losing her unexpectedly, that hurt, and that still hurts. Last Sunday was rough and all. Like I said, it was my day, and I'd always get a call from her and everything because I mean she always remembered the exact time I was born, so she'd call me at that time every year. So
Yeah, well, you know why she remembered.
oh
I
yeah,
seen you. You had a big old fucking head. That's why she remembers the exact time that you came out.
I didn't have a big old head then. It just got bigger as I got older.
No, yeah, you didn't have a big old head for an adult.
Yeah.
Mendoza jumping in. I know I showed ultra mesh here. I tell people all the time, like, especially like my kids when they want to celebrate, especially my daughter, but anyone like wants to celebrate their, that's overly obnoxious about celebrating their birthday. I'm like, the only person that should celebrate your birthday is your mother's, because they're the ones that had to push you out. They're the ones that had to deal with you for 10 months. All right. Because I watched both those kids come out, especially my daughter. She was a pain in the ass. It sounds like you had a pretty
Daughter's still a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, that's true. It sounds like you had a good relationship with your stepdad, though.
Oh yeah. He over the last 30 years and everything, he was more of a father to me than my own dad was. So yeah, it was rough losing both of them back to back.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, I've talked about it before. My oldest isn't mine. I raised her since she was 5, and there was some turmoil when my ex and I split up. But I can remember when I started dating, one girl said to me, she's like, she goes, she's not even your daughter. And that was it. Like, dude, you don't raise someone for 12 years, walk into kindergarten with them, they're at graduation, and say shit like that. Like, I raised this kid, and it's not her fault.
Nope.
So don't ever, ever. And I had other people that were like, they were in similar situations that fully got it. And I'm like, you don't even have to understand it. You just have to be like, all right, that's your child, but no, I think that's awesome. I mean, it's not easy raising someone else's kids. They can say that, yeah, when you date someone, you take their kids too. It's still not easy,
No, it's definitely not.
especially when they're young.
I hope I never had to deal with that though.
All right, so growing up, you said you had a sister, was it?
Biological brother.
Brother.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than me.
So, did you have like a built-in play friend, or were you guys close at all? Or
Um, so I don't know. We were brothers. We fought all the time. Uh, we are close and everything, or at least when we get to see each other. I mean, we're talking like crazy and stuff. But I mean, it's not. I don't talk to him every day and stuff like that. But I mean, he lives across town. But he's busy with his wife and kids and everything. I don't understand that Joker. He's got 4 kids and stuff, and I was like, I'm good with 2. I was like, I can't deal with that. And I mean, I swear I look at their Facebook and stuff, and it's like they're bouncing around every day, like one kid, one kid, one kid. Like you got 4 events in one day. I'm not doing that.
it?
I don't even want to do 2 right now.
Well, you're almost done with doing one, so um,
Yeah, I'm kind of that's kind of bittersweet though.
well, I don't know because my son still hasn't moved out. Though my stepdaughter, again, I had to deal with when when my ex and I split up, she left. But when she moved to when she moved to California, which was unexpected with her boyfriend, I had to tell my ex like, hey, they don't have kids. This is the time. Let her go out and enjoy it. Because when you have kids, you can't do this.
Mhm.
Let them go out now. And I told my daughter, I'm like, you better not get pregnant out there. Your mother will lose her mind if you do. So do not get pregnant while you're out there unless you're already on your way back. Like if you have plans to move back, that's fine. Do not get out there and get pregnant because she will lose it. Um, okay, so do you remember what was your first memory of a toy? Not your favorite, not like what you fell in love with, but do you have what's like your first toy you remember playing with?
So the one story that my mom and dad always told me was my first toys were pretty much GI Joes. My dad collected them. Um, they told me that like he had a collection of figures, and I went in and I just took 4 of them, and that was the start. Um, I believe they had always said it was Lifeline, Footloose, Eel, and a Crimson Guard, and from then on, he started buying GI Joes for me.
But I
So
mean,
GI Joe's been there since I was 2 years old.
you're that ripe age. I mean, I was born in right at the end of '75, so those memories. GI Joe wasn't there for the first toys I remember. Star
Mhm.
Wars was there. You being 8 years younger, I mean, by the time you can remember your first toy, there's already GI Joe hand me downs.
Oh yeah,
I mean, if you said Lifeline was the first one that you can remember, what's that, series 4? Series
yeah.
5?
So 1985, 1986. So like I said, Lifeline, Footloose, Crimson Guard, and Eel.
Those are
That's
some
all
good ones.
5. And was Lifeline 85 or 86? I can't remember right now. I believe
I
it was
want to say Lifeline
86.
was 85. I don't know. Somebody will tell us. There's everyone. There's always one person that knows all this stuff, and
I used to. I used to, but I can't remember anymore.
I don't think I ever knew the years. I would have known like what series they came out, but after 85, like after like series 5, like when I go through the book, I'm like, had that. When I get to 87, I think maybe 86, I forget. I'm like, I'm like, this is the year I found skateboarding. Like, it's very obvious what year I found skateboarding because I'm like, I didn't have all of this stuff anymore. I had a lot of figures. I didn't have the vehicles. Um,
Yeah,
and that's when,
I was fortunate. I mean, I turned 10 in 94 when the line ended the A Real American Hero uh phase, and I was still buying stuff at that point. So
yeah, 10, yeah, 10. You're still buying toys, but if you're, I mean, so is that was that your favorite? Is that your favorite line, or did you have other lines that you fell in love with too?
oh yeah, GI Joe was my favorite. Now when GI Joe was out, Star Wars started picking back up in the mid '90s, late '90s with the movies and stuff like that. I started collecting Star Wars stuff. I had a small collection of Star Wars items that my dad had from the '70s and early '80s, but it never it never took the place of GI Joe just because of the articulation and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't really think about the Power of the Force in '95. Like they didn't give him, they didn't give him articulation. I
Mm-mm.
think I was out of, I graduated for a year or so. There are these new toys. The movies are coming back out. I didn't think about articulation, but I don't think I ever thought about articulation as a kid either. You just knew G.I. Joe was way cooler. And when you look back at it, you're like, yeah, it's because I could bend them and I could pose them.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah, they moved.
Good luck. Good luck trying to get a snow trooper to point his long ass rifle and not fall forward.
Yep.
Chad Farr jumping in 78 adventure people in people into G.I. Joe and Star Wars. Yeah, again, I think a lot of people, my age, again, we remember, the adventure team or adventure people, right? That's
Adventure Team.
No, not the G.I. Joe stuff. I'm talking about, I think
Oh, okay.
the adventure. Is that what? I thought it was the adventure people. The 5 POA stuff. Like you remember stuff like that, but like most people that I talk to that are like in their 40s, like early 40s, like it's weird because they'll be like, yeah, Turtles, Transformers. Like that's right. By the time you could think of like we have that first memory, you're already into like prime toys.
Mm-hmm.
You're already into prime toys. Yes, adventure people. See, I get it right for once. Evil Dookie says, I hope it's an autographed Venom fleshlight. You guys have issues, man. Because here's Baldy here. Dookie, keep your eyes on the mail. I finally did it. You guys are wrong. So within G.I. Joe, what other lines did you say you
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Did you get into
yeah,
Turtles? Like you're prime for Turtles.
So I didn't have a lot of Ninja Turtles. Not that I remember growing up. I
That's
know I
because
had
you.
some.
That's because you knew the real ninjas were Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Exactly. I mean, growing up, Snake Eyes was my favorite and everything. It wasn't until I joined the military that my favorite kind of moved more away from Snake Eyes and more to all the paratrooper figures and stuff like that. Especially like someone like Crazy Legs, which is the only G.I. Joe that's a parachute rigger. So that one holds a special place in my heart.
Did you normally just yell the whole time you were a paratrooper?
Yell?
Did you always have a
No.
yelling face?
No.
Well, Crazy Legs does.
Oh, I know. I know. I get it. I get it. You have his original artwork and everything, and he's got the screaming face. But I can tell you right now, I don't remember one time that I was floating under canopy that I remember sitting there yelling at something. I mean, granted, I wasn't in a combat situation jumping out of a plane. If I was yelling, it was probably because I was going to land on the damn runway or I was going to land in trees or something like that. I might have been like yelling and stuff. But other than that, I mean, I ain't got time to yell.
I feel like you're gonna agree that I have no problem with the yelling face, but it should have come with the right. I mean, they already had the head sculpt. They should have given that.
Yeah.
Again, I have no problem with screaming faces, but I mean, I've always made fun of the screaming Duke that when they were doing the 4-inch figures, it's like no one wants a screaming face all the time.
That was the American flag Duke. I hated that face.
And I understood it. Like I think we all knew why he looked like that. The problem is it's like he's always screaming.
Yeah.
And if anyone is always screaming and it's not your wife, then is it real? All right.
I mean, now if you're gonna make a screaming figure, make Sergeant Slaughter screaming because drill sergeants are always screaming.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, you don't want a screaming head all the time.
Yeah.
Again, if you're going to make a Sergeant Slaughter, he really should be an Iraqi sympathizer because he turned his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. I don't know if I've ever said that before. Oh, I told him. That's right.
Oh, at Joe Fest.
I did tell him to his face. Because everyone's like, you won't ever say that to him. This guy can get mad. He's a professional wrestler. He understands it, you know.
I
don't
mean,
get it.
he's not even a real veteran or anything. I appreciate what he's done for G.I.
Oh, back that up. Because
No.
oh, you're absolutely wrong. Because when myself, Skunkworks, and Action Figs Ed, when we were on his show, and Travis, Mr. Wonderful, we were doing a game show. He said, "What is the only real life veteran that is a GI Joe figure?" And all three of us were like, I think Skunkworks was like Sergeant Slaughter, and he's like, "Ding ding ding, you win!" And we're all like, "No, he wasn't." And he's like, "Yes, he was." And all three of us
No,
were
he
like,
wasn't.
"No," because we're all like, none of them. There is that fucking Travis.
Yep, none of them.
But this is what you get from a guy who thought that Star Wars was a spoof of Spaceballs. He literally, because he grew up in that age, he saw Spaceballs and thought Star Wars. Like when he told the story, I was like, "You are joking? No, how, dude? Seriously? I mean, I understand. Even if you're not of the age, how could you not have known that Spaceballs was the spoof?" He's not the brightest guy. I hope he's still watching. Yeah, so I will argue with anyone that Sergeant Slaughter was a real veteran just because of that stupid game show we did. And even though we all went, no, he's not. Even Skunkworks, who said Sergeant Slaughter and got the point, and he was like, no, he's not. I think the Fridge was closer to being a veteran than him.
No.
He was at least a veteran of something. He was a veteran of football.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sarge is a veteran of wrestling.
Okay, Billy Butch is saying, are you being sarcastic about what Travis said? No. He thought Sergeant Slaughter was a real veteran. The only again, there's only been two real life people that were G.I. Joes in a real.
No, that's not true.
Well, I mean, they made likenesses of some.
Luke Ellison, he's a G.I. Joe fan. They made Red Zone after Luke Ellison. He won a contest or something back in like 2003 or something like that.
Well, but the Real American Hero line.
Yes, in the Real American Hero line, it was just Sarge and Fridge.
Yeah,
at least the ones that I remember.
Because really, if you were going to say veteran,
we could have had Rocky.
Very close. Well, Rocky wouldn't have even been a real life character, but then I guess neither would Sergeant Slaughter. But
yeah, true. Only then you only got the Fridge then.
Look, Viper Scout says he played at Soldier Field. He played at Soldier Field at least, so that is true. Yeah, that's our Bears fan here.
Fridge went to Clemson too, so
yeah, and soon the Bears. Aiken. Yeah, I think soon the Bears will be playing in Indiana. That will be awesome. I can't wait for that.
Oh, they'll move across the border.
See, so this is what I was going to say. Ron Rudat doesn't count, or Hama, and if you wanted to go with their likenesses, but that's not what Mr. Wonderful Travis was saying.
Yeah, Kirk Bazigian too. He's law.
Yeah. So Alex Martinez jumping in. All right. So as you're going into middle school, are you still playing with toys? And if so, is it a hidden thing?
Ooh, middle school. When was that? 96, 95, 96.
Most of us seem to be still playing. Honestly, with them. We're keeping it hidden.
Honestly, I don't remember if I was still playing with toys or anything, but I still had my collection.
Yeah.
It's just by that time, my mom and dad were already divorced. Most of my G.I. Joe collection was down at my dad's house. So I didn't have it with me. One, I didn't want my baby stepbrother and everything tearing up my figures and stuff. So I left it down at my dad's house where it was going to be safe.
I like how you think with that because I know I talked about my best friend growing up. When I met him, I was in second grade, and he played GI Joe different than what I grew up playing with another kid. And that was like we always stun people, and he's like, "No, dude, they're dead." I'm like, "Okay, well, cool. This is different." But he always destroyed everything, other than his Night Raven. Right? He'd throw things down. I'd be like, "Okay, we're gonna walk my stuff down." So his stuff didn't survive. My stuff, on the other hand, some of it's still sitting downstairs in my basement. So
Okay, so all right, when I was growing up too, Goodwill, that was a big stigma and everything. No, you didn't tell anybody you shopped at Goodwill either. Well, a lot of my GI Joe collection and stuff come from Goodwill because my grandmother knew the ladies and stuff that worked at Goodwill, and they would call her and tell her when new toys came in, and they'd hold bags and stuff in the back. So she'd come home with these massive plastic bags with like 100 GI Joes in it that she might have paid $1 for.
so you're saying you're Goodwill rather than Gucci?
Oh, I'm damn straight Goodwill.
Oh man, I tell you what.
Most of my collection when I was little come from there. So
So
I mean,
you would rather watch Goodwill, which is Circle of Jerks, rather than Gucci, which is a toy kind of mood. His
I'm
words.
not getting into the YouTuber wars here.
Hey, you brought up Goodwill. If
I
I
brought
had,
up Goodwill. Yes, I'm not getting into YouTuber wars.
there's not wars. There's no war.
All right.
Okay, so as you're going into high school, what are you doing? It's Baldy. Goodwill in the house.
So high school. High school was Phantom Menace. Ninth grade was when Phantom Menace come out. So I'd started collecting all the Star Wars figures and all. And to be honest, I didn't give a crap what anybody thought. So
So, like, were you into sports?
yeah. I played baseball and everything from the time I could get into T-ball and all. I played baseball all the way up until ninth or 10th grade in high school. I tried out for the team and I didn't make the team in ninth grade. By the time I got to 10th grade, my class schedule was so overloaded with like AP classes that I didn't have time for it. I tried to do cross country and stuff and end up not even finishing that because I just didn't have time. So I
So,
kind of gave up sports and stuff.
what did you mostly do in high school? I mean, it sounds like you were still buying toys because you didn't really care. But what type of hobbies, or were you just really into like my daughter? She's on all the AP classes, all the advanced classes.
So I guess around that time is like video games,
Okay,
PlayStation and all that came out. PlayStation 2, playing video games, working and stuff. Got my first job at a movie theater when I was 16. It's where I met my wife. It's where my son's at right now. He's at that same movie theater working for one of the same managers that I worked for 25 years ago.
was your son conceived there?
No,
That would have been an awesome story.
no,
Wait,
no.
you met
I
your
still
wife
get
in
it
high
for free
school?
there. Do what?
What? You met your wife in high school?
Yes. She did not go to high school with me though. She's got a bit of a checkered past and stuff. So yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
you really threw your wife under the bus there.
Oh well, she'd throw herself under the bus on that one and stuff. She grew up in Savannah, Georgia, and she ended up here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, because she run away. She come to live with her grandparents. So yeah. But yeah, I met her working at that movie theater. We opened that movie theater as part of the first crew when it opened in 2000. And like I said, the manager that still runs the place now, he still lets my wife and I come in for free anytime we want to,
So is the
which is
movie?
not often.
There's some good stuff coming out. I've heard, but I love going to the movies. I still love going to the movies, but you're right, I don't go nearly as often as we did. But I still love it. I don't care that I'm spending $25 on popcorn and pop. I like going to the movies and seeing it on the big screen. There's something special about it. I don't.
For certain movies, yeah, I definitely have to go. I know Mario just came out. I kind of want to see it. I don't know if I'll I'll take the time to go and see it in the theaters or not.
Is Chris Pratt the voice of all the characters?
Yes, every one of them.
Everyone.
Yep.
Chris Pratt is doing lots of voiceovers to everyone. It sounds like.
Yep. I hear. What's it? Emmett? Emmett's even in it, right? From Lego Movie. Yeah.
Is it? So I gotta ask you this about the movie theater. You said you were part of the first crew that opened it.
Yep.
Can I ask you what the name of the movie theater is?
Manchester Cinemas.
Is it still the same?
It is still Manchester Cinemas. It's just owned by a different company.
Okay.
It started in a small company called Stone Theaters
Okay.
back then, but Regal bought it.
I was just wondering because so many of these theaters will, they change, and I was just wondering if it's still the exact same. I know the theater that we go to now, I never went to as like when we were younger, but everyone used to skateboard there. That's the only reason why I knew it. And then it was like when I started going to movies, as an adult, it was probably the nicest theater to go to, and not super busy. So I'm like, I never came here when everyone skated. Now I come here.
Well, I mean, the theater it used to be the nicest theater around and everything, but I mean, it's 25 years old now. It needs some upgrades and stuff like that. So that's probably another reason we don't go very often, is just because like it's not upgraded to the quality of most other theaters are nowadays. Like most of them have like seats that you can recline back in some and stuff. So
it's crazy to look at the theaters now.
Yeah. I mean, they have open bars and stuff like that. They have waiters that'll bring stuff to you in theaters. I mean, a couple years ago when G.I. Joe the movie come out in theaters again, my son and I went to a theater in Charlotte to watch it. I wish I had gone 2 nights earlier because I found out that Sergeant Slaughter and his daughter went to the movie 2 nights earlier because his daughter actually lives maybe 20, 30 minutes away from here.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was actually at the theater watching G.I. Joe the movie, and people run into him, and I'm like, dadgummit.
Is that Kelly that lives by you, or
yeah,
he has another daughter, right? I think he has 2 daughters.
Yes, it's Kelly.
Okay,
Slaughter's daughter.
I got, like I said, I everyone knows my feelings on Sergeant Slaughter, not the man, but Sergeant Slaughter. To me, Sergeant Slaughter was the wrestler that turned his back on Hulk Hogan and the USA. He was the Iraqi sympathizer. I never liked him in G.I. Joe. And everything that I'd ever heard about him is that it's like you could not have picked a better ambassador for the brand. He is the nicest guy. When I was talking to Dee at Sergeant Reds, and she's like, that guy just loves his wife. And I was like, and I remember going, and I said to her, I go, well, that's good. And she's like, no, like we went out to dinner and we were talking, and I asked about his wife, and his eyes lit up and he couldn't stop just talking about her. And when I met him, I've seen him twice, but we talked to him and we hung out with him for at least 2 hours at Joe Fest. I mean, his manager wasn't happy about it, but he didn't care. He honestly could not have been a nicer guy.
I think I know what night. I think I know what night you're talking about.
It was in 24.
Then no, last year was the one where I was standing in the hotel restaurant with you when he
stumbled
by.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you're using walk very loosely.
I didn't want to throw him under the bus.
I think it's well documented that he barely made it under the stairs.
I know my son was actually sitting over there when he come by, and my son said he just looks at me and starts laughing.
Yeah, so where he walked by that table right there, he said, so myself, 3-star, and I want to say Daredevil Dave might have been there too. We were at the bar, and the bartender did not want to give us our check because he didn't want to deal with all the other people. Like, we were just like, we want to get our check. And then someone walks in and is like, Sergeant Slaughter sitting at our table. Now, we were supposed to get our food and go sit there before, but we're like, I don't care, we'll sit here. And then someone's like, yeah, he's sitting at the table. And he sat there. And by the time we got there, he was there for like 2 hours. he was telling wrestling stories, he was telling G.I. Joe stories. I mean, he's seriously such a good guy. And as his manager would try and get him to leave, he just like hit him in the stomach. And then he finally got him like after 2 hours. Because I'm assuming he's sitting there going, dude, people are paying like $120 for a breakfast with you tomorrow. Like you can't sit here the whole time. He didn't care, you know. Now last year, had he sat with us, it would have been because he physically wasn't able to walk any further.
Yep.
That was like, yeah, he was, and it's funny because like so many people saw that. Like so, like I think it was who was it?
I think Tony was standing there with us last year when it happened too.
Yeah,
or he was outside talking to somebody.
Ed and Tony might have been right there. Savage Land, I think he was getting off the elevator or coming down that hallway, and he was like, "Holy crap!" And his manager, who's much smaller than him, a little bit taller than me, was trying to hold him up, and we're like, "Good luck on that one." Baldy says he punched me in the chest. And Tatsi says he thought Punk was related to the Sheik. No, because everyone says I look like him. He actually put his hat on me. Remember the tricep of doom, or something like that. Anyway, all right.
Cover
So no. I grabbed him.
Oh, okay.
Like, so he let me look like I was choking. He put his hat on me. He let me like choke him. But
okay.
The picture they got taken, my tricep was like fucking bulging. I'm like so proud of it. Not because I'm with Sergeant Sutton. I'm like, look at that tricep, man. I don't think my triceps ever looked better.
Can I get a copy of that? That's the only time it's never happened.
I haven't. He's one of the few people that I didn't get him to sign my book because I didn't think that his manager would let him. But like I like everyone, you signed the book, I think. Everyone that I took a picture with, I put it in a book. I'm going to do the same thing for this year. I want him to sign it. I don't, again, I'm not getting autographs, but I just want people to sign the book for, the year before. And I thought about asking him, especially he was right next to the Delta 17 booth like the whole time. But his manager, they're all about money. And I'm like, I'm not paying you for a signature.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. If you are, awesome, but I'm just not into that. All right. So as you're going to high school, when you graduate, it sounds like you had ambitions to do other things. Is that correct? If you had all AP classes.
Well, yeah. I was one of the smart kids and everything, so I took all the AP classes until I was like, this ain't worth it. I was like, I'm not gonna be a zombie like these other kids with all these classes and stuff. I was like, this isn't getting me where I want to go. Like I wanted to go to architecture school and everything, and that shit's expensive. And I'm like, okay, well, my parents ain't rich and I need something else. So I was like, no, I'm going to the military.
So
I mean, yeah.
No, go on.
I was gonna say I only went into the reserves. I didn't go active duty. I regret that now. I wish I would have done active duty. But I joined the reserves because there was a parachute rigger unit in Charlotte and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I get to jump out of planes? I was like, guaranteed I get to jump out of planes? They're like, yeah, you have to jump out of planes to even do that job. And I was like, I'll take that. And it's in Charlotte, so it's close by.
So why would you want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
Ain't a damn plane perfectly good. Not one of them.
Okay, I mean, it's perfectly good to land.
All right. I'll give you one instance and everything at Fort Bragg. We loaded up on a plane at Pope and we took off and we're flying around. Those pilots have to get their flight time in and everything. So, I mean, you probably have like a 10-minute flight to get to the drop zone and everything, but they sit there and do racetracks and circle around the drop zone like a bunch of buzzards and everything just so they get their flight time in. So you're sitting on that plane for an hour at least in all that gear and all that heavy crap, sitting on a C-130. It's hot as shit in the summertime. And we're sitting back there, and we have our jump masters and our safeties go through, and they're talking to the Air Force load masters, and they start passing this information down to us, and they're like, we got to go back to Pope. One of our engines is out. I mean, it's a C-130. It's got 4 engines and everything. And we're like, okay, no big deal. So we're all sitting there, and they're like, oh, a second engine just went out. I'm like, okay, cool. We can still fly with 2. Well, they're taking us back. And I mean, if you've been on a plane long enough, you know that if the nose is still pointing down when you're going to land, there's something wrong. Well, they come down at the tarmac at an angle. They hit the front wheels first. The back wheel smacked the ground. Both engines cut back on, and they just took right back off. So all of us are in there like, I want the hell off the plane.
Isn't that the same thing you do to your TV when you get the static and hit the side of it? And they basically do the same thing with
yeah. But we're all sitting there, and it jars us, and we're like, okay, just open the doors. We'll jump now. I don't care how high we are. So they're in a perfectly good airplane.
Okay, see, now in that case, yes, that is a good time. Or you could have jumped, especially if you're over water, and just like Commando, and landed in the water when he jumps off the airplane in the swamp.
I've done a water jump too. I got to do a water jump in 2005. But that was with a parachute as well.
Okay,
I was going to say Tybee Island. Yep. That was the best jump ever.
So Evil Dookie says rigger, which we know Crazy Legs. Comes with the rigger hat, which I had no idea what a rigger hat was, and it was something that Lenny specifically talked about when showing off the characters. Were you happy with that? Did you?
I'm the guy. I'm the guy that got him to do it.
Rigger.
Yeah, I'm the one that provided him all the spec sheets and everything, from pretty much rock and roll. Golly, I can't even remember how many of them there were. I did quite a few spec sheets and everything for Lenny from 2002 to 2024, or 2022 to 2024. Good God.
So you're telling me that you helped with the weapons that the characters had?
I gave them weapon options.
Yes.
They didn't use all of them, and they used some random ones and stuff, even some that I don't agree with. I begged him not to include the M60 with rock and roll, with the classified rock and roll. I did not want that gun. I mean, I love the original G.I. Joes in the 80s and everything, but they were in the 80s. I want my G.I. Joe, I want classified now to be modern. So I pushed for modern gear. Rock and roll. He only has tattoos because I made the suggestion and everything, and Lenny pushed for it. Corey Cantaloupe can confirm that for you, that he fought to get those tattoos included on rock and roll, because I brought it up and said that he needed something to pay homage to his surfer and love of loud music. So Lenny put them on him.
So that's interesting. So there have been designs with the weapons, because all I've ever heard is that they don't know anything about weapons. They don't talk to anyone. You're saying that that's not exactly true.
Yeah, that's not exactly true.
Yeah, we're getting a little deep, but
yeah.
So they do have consultants they talk to.
Yes, I don't know how much they still use now, or if they still use a lot of the spec sheets that I gave them and stuff. But I mean, like I said, I haven't had a hold on. I haven't had an assignment with them since 2024. Actually, I think the end of 2023. And that was more for Arctic stuff, that you're starting to see Arctic stuff come out and everything. So,
all right. So Evil Dookie says, Darren, please tell me you tried to convince Lenny that Crazy Legs needed a reserve.
Okay, so no, I did not try to convince him that Crazy Legs needed a reserve because I don't like Crazy Legs harness assembly as it is. That single point harness, again, as something from the 80s and everything, that dial of death. Like by the time I was a paratrooper, they didn't use it anymore because it wasn't safe. So I hate the dial of death. I wanted them to change that. So
What's
I
the
provided
wait?
spec sheets.
Can you enlighten people on when you said the dial of death?
Yes. Okay. So the single point harness on his
Okay.
chest on there. So okay, if you think about a race car and how they have that little circle and everything where you can plug all the harnesses or
Yeah.
the seat belts in,
Yeah.
like a
The 5 point
5 point
harness.
harness. Well, that's what the dial of death is.
Okay.
Except they were notorious for coming undone.
Ooh, that would
So
be
you're
scary.
exactly.
It'd be scary in the sky
Exactly.
and
That dial of death. Yeah. So by the time I was airborne qualified, they didn't have them anymore. You could still find them in rigger sheds and stuff like that, but they were in like junk bins or something. They showed them to us and stuff, but that was it. They didn't use them. So back in the 80s or 87 and everything when Crazy Legs came out, yeah, they were probably still using some of them, but I don't like them. I didn't want him to come with that. I want it modernized. The spec sheets that I gave was all modern gear, all T11 harnesses and stuff, not even the T10s that I jumped. But I wasn't worried about the reserve and all because I mean it would have ended up being a second piece. If you're gonna do the reserve right on action figures, it probably would have been just like the reserve from the Snow Serpent, which people can use that one. So I wasn't worried about that with Crazy Legs.
all right. We'll get back on track, but again, there's questions now because now I knew this. I didn't want to say anything because you've been like, oh, some things we could talk about, and I didn't. So Billy Butch says Rock and Roll V1 should have had the M240B.
That was
But-
on my spec sheet.
Okay, but you understand the reason why they did it, correct?
I understand why they included the M60, but if you knew that you were going to include Rock and Roll in the retro line, you could have saved the damn M60 for that.
Do you think they knew that though? Do you think they knew that they were doing a retro at that point?
Yeah, they were already starting the retro line at that point. 2022 is when Baroness and Lady J were released.
But do you think they knew how well it was going to be received, and that's what a lot of people were going to want? Because I'm with you. Like, I wish at this point, and I've said this before, I wish that they would finally just sit down and go, okay, classified is going to be classified up. We're going to have more modern stuff, but on our retro cards, we're going to give you as close to the classic as possible because that's what a retro card is.
Yes.
And again, there's certain things that I think that there is a struggle, right? Like they saw that they tried doing something different in those first couple waves, and people whined and cried about it. They did a course correction, but I also think the team realizes we can't live off what we had in the 80s. But at the same time, if we want to find a way to make it last, we have to do what's in the 80s.
You say they did a course correction, but you realize how long it takes to do a course correction, right?
Yes.
Because those first couple of waves, 2020, it was late summer 2020, you get the first wave of 5. I mean, the course correction really wasn't until what, late 2021, 2022?
Yeah, but they scrapped a lot of stuff, did they not?
I don't know how much they scrapped. I know they scrapped some things.
We never got that Storm Shadow, and we know he did that Storm Shadow.
I've never seen inputs for that Storm Shadow. But I'm not saying they didn't do it.
If Haya did the Storm Shadow, and we know that they've just taken Lenny's designs,
and I wanted that damn Storm Shadow.
I think that we're gonna. I think eventually we'll get it.
I hope so. I really do. I mean, I get the Operation Blackout game didn't do well. I mean, I like that they did the field variants and everything.
In
got
the
rid
back.
of
He's still in the back of the Desert Storm or Desert Snake Eyes.
Is that Storm Shadow
I
though?
think so.
I mean, he looked like he had a hood on though, so I don't know.
I don't know. It looked like he had tattoos and stuff.
I still want it. I do. I really do. Hell, I want the Operation Blackout Sci-Fi.
I
I
knew
thought
you were
that
gonna-
design was cool.
No, and that's exactly it. Evo Dookie says, "Yeah, the French uses the dial of death, most frightening jump of my career."
Yep. Yep.
So again, so basically, because you brought it up, when people, and again, I hate when people say it because I'm like, dude, I know some of these people that have. I know at least one person that has been a consultant. But at the same time, I've talked to you and you seem realistic to understand, like, you understand that they can't do everything full on military for budgetary reasons and then playability. Like, you
Yep.
can, oh, I guess we're saying it now. You told me about, you told me about, torpedoes flippers.
Yep.
How they were going to go with the short ones. You're like, no, they use these really long ones, but they couldn't go that long. But you're like,
well,
I understand.
They did make them longer than what they
Yeah.
were. I still have my original markup of the turnaround for that figure where I marked it up and said, okay, well, I want to say the original flipper size or fin size, whatever you want to call it. You got the boot that goes on his foot, and then I think the fin portion of it was maybe about the length of the boot. But if you go through and you look at actual fins that the seals and stuff use, they're an additional boot plus another third or a half extended past that.
Yeah.
And I was like, you've got to make this longer. Otherwise, like the realistic nature of it is like, if it's short, you're not moving very far in the water very fast. And like you're wanting to move. So I was like, you got to make it a little more realistic, add longer length on the end of that fin and everything so that they can move through the water. The other thing on there was as soon as I saw that stupid ass spear gun, I was like, please get rid of that spear gun. I was like, there is not a single SEAL ever used a spear gun. And I mean, like, there's something floating around on Facebook. It has been for years where you had a Navy SEAL that would go and review like movies and stuff that had divers and all. And he's looking at James Bond in the 70s and they're shooting spear guns. And he's like, not one time ever would we ever use a spear gun. We're not shooting shit in the water. He's like, and if the shark comes by, we're not shooting it. We're trying to get the hell away from it.
But you know that people would have lost their mind if they don't have that. And they did give them the MP5, right? Or MP whatever.
They gave him the SMG because I asked them to give him an SMG or a suppressed pistol at least. I was like, he needs an actual gun.
And
so they added that.
And that's where the eel, they failed because they didn't give him a type of weapon. And at least with Cobra, if they would have given him that classic spear gun, you can that's Cobra, right? They're gonna
right.
You don't really care about OSHA, even though they give them all seatbelts now.
and that's the thing is like with G.I. Joe, there are certain characters that I want to see the stuff be as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
And then you go and you look at Cobra, and I'm like, I don't give a crap if Cobra has realistic weapons and stuff because you have Destro that is a weapons manufacturer making like cutting edge gear and everything. I was like, just give them something fantastical and stuff. I don't care. But G.I. Joe being a military unit and everything, I expect them to have more realistic weapons, unless it's Sunbow related, where you got the XMLR.
And that's kind of like, and that's what I've always said too about like, I like the classified Viper weapon. I think it's actually pretty cool. You can tell that they designed it somewhat based after the O-ring, but I'm okay with like Destro's laser pistol that he has.
Yeah.
Like it's futuristic. But G.I. Joe, I think, should have a more classic American or US weapons based. But you're still gonna have guys like Flash, sci-fi that are
Yep.
gonna have that stuff.
Which is understandable.
Yeah. And again, they are a futuristic military, team. So Billy Butch says, did the original O-ring rock and roll come with the German MG42, not the M60? No, he came with the big M60. The original rock and roll had the big giant M60.
Now I got to pull up another page on my computer real quick so I can pull up Yojo and look at stuff.
No, he had because he had the bipod on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not be perfect, but again, you're also talking about 1982 technology.
So the MG42, no, it's definitely not rock and roll's original gun.
Yeah, he did not have the Rambo M60. Graf says he needs the spear gun to catch the fish for the snowcat.
That's what the fishing rod's for.
B's Battleground, another veteran. He's just an MP, so I don't know. Is that really considered a veteran? That's just
I'm a reservist and everything, so I mean,
yeah,
most people may not consider me a veteran. So
that's just a cop, I believe.
You served.
I agree with you 100%. It is more than what I did, and I appreciate anyone that was willing to do that. Bees Battleground says, I feel like it was a mix between, if I'm remembering the right thing. And I think he's talking about the machine gun.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it does look like it's a mixture.
But it was supposed to be the M60, right?
Back then, I don't know. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Like, a lot of the stuff that they did back then, they don't have the quick access to it like we do now. I mean,
yeah.
I'll pick apart file cards and stuff and stuff they use for characters back then. I'm like, that didn't exist, or that's not real. And a lot of the file cards and stuff, Hama created those from his service time, and a lot of it may not have actually been relevant in the 80s and stuff for what was going on in the 80s and 90s. So
when you look at the first wave of figures, you had an M16, which wasn't scaled properly. It was very small. They had I'm still going to call it the M60, the rock and roll. They had the Uzi. I don't remember the U.S. military ever using the Uzi. So two guys in that wave had that.
I can see special forces guys using it. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how many people are issued a crossbow in the military, along with jazzercise equipment or uniform.
No leotards.
No leotards. There was the mortar.
I mean, they didn't have any lasers back then.
No lasers.
Well, Star Wars, but
yeah. Well, you had lasers along with baseball catcher equipment.
Jetpacks.
Yes, that was one thing I didn't have as a kid, believe it or not, for some reason. The bazooka, that came with that.
So from freaking World War II.
Exactly, and then you had the what was the gun that Stalker had? That wasn't the grease gun. That wasn't was that a U.S. gun?
Let's see here. I
always thought it was like a German gun.
They call it the M32 pulverizer, but
yeah.
I don't even see anything for that. So I don't know.
So Kimberly says Uzi was made famous by Secret Service.
Uzi's Israeli.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
Either way,
Uzi's Israeli.
Either way, they weren't always super accurate, but
it
was fun, and we didn't.
And I mean, we didn't care. We didn't care then. It's just as adults, I'm sitting there picking stuff apart, like I do military movies now. Like, my wife hates watching military movies with me because I'm like, that ain't right. That's not real.
You mean
so
like
just tearing stuff apart.
Comic nerds trying to watch Marvel movies.
Exactly.
All right, so you go into the military, and we'll come back around to this because I think people find this very fascinating what you're doing here. So you go into the military. Now, are you with your wife at this time? Like, did you
Uh,
start dating when you met
yes.
her?
So we started dating in December of 2000, and I joined the military in May of 2002. So
Okay,
yeah, we were still dating while I was going through training and all that. Yeah. And then got married in 2005.
but you were never active duty. You were just in the reserves, correct?
The only active duty time I have is when I was in training or like when I was on like 3-week training times and stuff like that, like
So you
annual trainings and stuff. But no, it was all reserves,
so
really.
you didn't get to come home and find out that your wife was now sleeping with your best friend and that she's pregnant.
No, Jody didn't get to my wife. Jody, if you don't know, Jody's the term they always told us. You sing in cadences and everything. You start singing about Jody back home with your significant other and stuff like that. So no, Jody never got to my wife. Although my best friend at the time did try to, but like my wife about killed him. So
Ed says a lot of the weapons and gear was designed using files Hasbro had from DoD from the 60s and 70s, and a little
yeah,
bit of DoD access of pre-art, a real American hero, early 80s. That makes sense.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, Cooter's Garage jumping in here. All right, so you're in the reserves, which means that you're only going in what, like once a month after basic training?
Yeah, well, no. So basic training, then you go to AI. Well, for me, so a parachute rigger is the only MOS in the military that you have to go to a secondary school before you can even go and get your job training, which is
What is
AIT.
what is MOS?
MOS, military occupation
Okay.
specialty. So my MOS was a parachute rigger, but to be a parachute rigger, I had to first go to airborne school and become a paratrooper before I could even go back and do my AIT and learn how to pack parachutes.
All right. So if you're doing all of this,
Mm-hmm.
when are you able to go to Clemson? Is it
So I
after?
started Clemson after my wife and I got married in 2005. I went to Clemson in 2006.
So you would have been, I mean, you would have been a little bit older of a freshman.
Yes, I was uncle is what those kids called me. I was 4 years older than most of them. But I got lucky because there was a guy that was older than me and they called him grandpa. So I take
So I'm assuming you go to Clemson after you're done doing after you're done serving.
I was still in.
Okay, so you still were.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I was doing my weekend drills and everything while I was at Clemson. I actually got out of the military in 2010. I left Clemson in 2012.
All right, so if you go to Clemson and you're 4 years older, which means you should have been, would that made you a senior age or even older than the seniors? You would have been older senior.
No, I was the age of most of the seniors.
So are you forced to live on campus like most freshmen?
Nope. I was married.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
So,
I didn't
so
have
your
to.
wife goes with you. Now, where like when you go for your 1 week in a month, where do you have to go?
So not long after I got to my unit, which was in Charlotte, North Carolina, we would go back and forth between Charlotte and Fort Bragg when I first started because you had to go to Fort Bragg to do your ranges for jumps and stuff like that. We could do some packing and everything in our rigger shed in Charlotte, but I think our third commander he changed it to where he wanted us in Fort Bragg almost every single month of the year. So we we were at Fort Bragg all the time.
So how far is Fort Bragg from Clemson?
5 hours.
And so at least once a weekend, you had to drive 5 hours to Fort Bragg.
Once a month.
Yeah. Is that what I said?
You said once a weekend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Once a month for a weekend, correct?
Yep.
Now, how does school handle that? Because that's, I mean, is it just one weekend or is it like 3
I
days?
mean, well, so typically it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Most of my classes, I didn't have anything on Fridays and stuff. So it never really affected school when I was going to weekend drills. Now, when you come to your annual training, which when they tell you when you join the National Guard or the reserves, you're going to do that 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks of the year. It was never 2 weeks for me. I don't remember one time having a 2-week annual training. My first one was 3 weeks. I went to Fort Bliss, Texas. I went down there. That was right after I got married, before I started Clemson. I went down there and I got to jump with the Canadians and everything. So I earned Canadian jump wings in Texas. Then in 2006, I went to Italy for 3 weeks. Didn't get to do any jumps over there, but that was the first time I'd ever seen anybody with a bronze star on their airborne wings. They had just, the 173rd Airborne had just done a combat jump in Iraq, and combat jump. There was no combat going on, but they got credit for it. And then when I started Clemson, at the end of my first year, I was 2 weeks away from finishing the semester, and I got orders to go to Germany for 3 weeks. So I had to take an incomplete for my second semester of Clemson because they sent me to Germany, and Clemson can't argue it. Like once your orders are cut and everything, they have to abide by it, and they have to allow you to finish your classes.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna ask. So like you don't have any, like there's no issues going back there, like, okay, you know what?
I had one issue. I had one teacher for a stupid leisure skills class, which is like 1 credit hour, and it was for Aikido. I was just taking it to blow off steam and stuff instead of having to deal with architecture classes and everything. And this jackass wanted to give me an F for the class, even though I gave him my orders and stuff. And I ended up coming back, and I'm like, well, he gave me an F. I completed everything before I left, and he still gave me an F because I wasn't there for the last 2 weeks. And they're like, no, they're like, we're not getting involved in this. And that department changed that grade to an A.
Again, I mean, that sounds more like somebody has an issue with maybe the military.
I don't know what his issue was, but I mean, I wasn't going to deal directly with him. I went straight to the department and stuff that handled those classes.
I wouldn't either, because I mean, you don't have a say in it. You know,
well, he don't have a say in it.
But I mean, you don't have a say in that you've been deployed. Like, you know, this part of you went in knowing that it wasn't like you started school and then you're like, hey, now I'm going to go on the reserves. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So what do you go to Clemson? Now, when you're in Clemson, is your wife going to school, or is she just?
No, she has an associate degree in dental hygiene, so she was already working and everything. So she was the breadwinner at the time, and I was the college bum and stuff. So at least for the first couple of years, and then my son was born. Like, I actually ended up having to take an incomplete my second year at Clemson too, because my son was born right in the middle of the semester. So
that you had control over.
that I had control over, but at least with that one, that my professors and stuff were very lenient with me on that one. Hell,
after my son was, as they were.
Huh? No, I wasn't.
As old as
I was only 22. Well, 24 at the time he was born, but I would take my son to class with me. I just throw him up in his car seat on top of the the tables in the architecture studio and stuff, and I'd be sitting there working on stuff, and all the girls in the class would come by and just say, "Hey, it's a baby." And I'm like, "Yep, free babysitter."
So I'm assuming you went to school for architecture.
I did. I did not finish.
Okay, that's
Yeah. I ended up getting a couple engineering degrees and everything. So I work as a transmission line engineer now.
what's that?
Power lines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like steel lattice towers and stuff like that. Engineering, trust me, engineering's a lot more stable field than architecture. There wasn't shit for a job when I come out of Clemson trying to get architecture stuff.
You just talked about the towers. Clearly, you don't have an issue with heights.
No.
Fuck that.
No, I mean, you can give me a parachute right now and I'll go and jump my happy ass out the plane. Now, you put a bungee cord on me and I'm not jumping. I don't trust
Okay, that may
band.
be okay. That's one thing I don't understand. Why I want to jump, praying that you strap this to me properly, and then it's going to shoot me back up.
Hey, real quick, go back to Evil Dookie's comment
about going here.
Yeah, when were you there?
Well, he just retired.
Just retired at 23 years. Yeah, he would have been there around the time I was in, because I would have been at Bragg from after I was finished with training in 2003. I was at Bragg until 2008.
Here, 97 to 2022 or
yeah,
2020.
He was definitely there. So he probably knows where the MacArthur building is, where that rigger shed and all that is overlooking Pope. That's where my unit was. And funny story with that. So Carson Metaxas, his brother is also also in the Army. He was in my unit and everything when he come out of college as an officer and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And me and Carson figured that out like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah.
And here's my other moderator, Matthew, trying to make it all about himself. That's what I went to school for initially also. Yes. Matthew, I believe, has degrees in everything, including what side swords go on, if ninjas are real. He's I think, an 18th degree black belt in every form of karate. Right now, Ed is laughing somewhere. That's right now, Ed is watching, laughing. And I'm making myself laugh. All right, so you end up going to school for architecture, which it sounds like you wanted to do as a child.
Yep.
And yet when you got in there, and this is what I tell my daughter, she wants to be a lawyer, right? And, I think now she wants to do criminal justice as her secondary. Is that what it's called? I don't know. I didn't make it to college.
Your minor.
As her minor. And I go, well, you still want to be a lawyer? And she's like, yeah, so I still want to be, but... And I go, just so you know, this literally, we had this conversation yesterday, I think. I said, just so you know, like, you can change your mind. Like, if you're in college and you realize, hey, a lawyer is not what I want to be, you are allowed to, change your mind of what you want to do. Don't feel like you have to stick something out. But she's always said she wanted to be a lawyer. So I'm like, all right, well, hey, you know what? Go for it. Then Matt, here's Ed. Yes, I am. Laughing his ass off.
and that's the thing is, like, I was going through Clemson when the housing market collapsed, and I mean, all of us saw it while we were there, and we're like, crap, the jobs are drying up. Like, we knew kids that were ahead of us and everything that couldn't find internships. I had a buddy, he graduated, he would have been a year behind me in high school, but he was 2 years ahead of me at Clemson. So when he graduated in 2009, he come back to the Charlotte area and he was trying to find jobs as an architect and everything. And he went to a couple of companies and said, I will work for free. I just want to get experience as an intern and everything. And they told him no, they could not hire him even free because they had just laid off so many people. So by the time I got finished, I mean, I'm calling like half the offices in a 50-mile radius, and their phones are disconnected. They're out of business. So, I mean, I come back up here and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going back to school to do engineering and stuff to finish that degree, because I'd started a 2-year engineering program before I even left for Clemson, just because I could get credits that would transfer to Clemson out of that too. And I come back and I finish that degree and another engineering degree. And honestly, I wish halfway through Clemson I would have just swapped to engineering while I was there, because the damn student loans and stuff that I got off of architecture, those things are still lingering. 20 years later, they're still lingering. And I mean, they always told us, they're like, I mean, hell, the first day of school, they told us for architecture, they're like, the majority of y'all will go and try to get jobs as an architect, but most of y'all will become accountants.
That sounds awful. How do they get? Are they just saying accountant, just like throwing that out there, or is there something? Oh, okay.
Yeah, math. Architects are good at math. Engineers are good at math. So fallback accounting.
It's not even close to being the same.
It's not, but
I mean, it's math. It's not even close to being the same.
The guy that I was telling you that came back trying to work for free, guess what he got a job as?
Accountant.
An accountant at Wells Fargo.
I told my daughter, because like she doesn't want to be a defense attorney, which I'm proud of, because I'm like, she's like, I don't know how you can defend people that you know are guilty. And I'm like, your job is to put in reasonable doubt, right? Like your job is to give the facts, and hopefully, you have an actual innocent victim, which normally or innocent criminal, I guess you would say. But she doesn't want to. She wants to be a prosecutor.
Innocent and criminal, that's kind of contradictory, isn't it?
I know. It's like she wants to be a prosecutor.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's all kinds of different lawyers. So just remember that. There's different, and we watched Suits because she wanted to watch it, because she heard that it was a law show. And
it's a great show.
Oh, it was. And we had hours upon hours of entertainment with it. There's no doubt about it.
My daughter literally just finished it again like 2 or 3 days ago.
It's good. It's entertaining. How realistic is it? I don't know. But
yeah, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
If I want real, I will go watch documentaries. I want to be entertained, okay? All right. So during this whole time, I mean, you join the military, you go to school, you go to Clemson. Are you collecting?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's a funny story. So when I was in AIT, at what used to be, I don't know if it's changed back now, but Fort Lee, Virginia. Last I heard, it was Fort Gregg Adams, Virginia, and everything. So while I was up there, the Spy Troops line had come out, and on my weekends that we were allowed to go off post and everything, I was at Walmart and Target off base looking for GI Joes, and I was buying GI Joes. Now I'm 19 years old at the time, and I'm in there with a bunch of other military guys and everything, and they're all picking on me and stuff because I'm buying toys. That is until we have a locker inspection one day, and the drill sergeant comes through there, and he stops at my locker, and he's going through all my GI Joes, looking at what new GI Joes and stuff I have, and everybody else is over there hiding their contraband still. After that, they figured out, oh shit, we've got more time because he's looking at all the new stuff you're buying. What do you need? Because we'll buy it for you. So I got free GI Joes because they figured it out. They had more time to hide their shit.
Are you?
I'm serious.
Holy shit. That's awesome. So basically, like you just say, hey, hey, we're headed out to Target or Kmart, wherever it was. Kmart still around then? And
Yeah, it was.
and they were like, hey, is there anything you're looking for?
Yep.
We'll look for you real quickly because we know the drill sergeant is going to stop and he's going to go through your shit, not because you fucked something up, but because he wants to know.
Yep.
Because
he was interested, because he collected GI Joes when he was younger too. So he saw new GI Joes and he's like, "Oh, this is cool!" And he's playing with GI Joes and everything. And everybody else is hiding their stuff. So
did you ever have like any longer conversations with him about it, or?
No. So I actually found out a couple years later, well, a couple years ago actually, that one of my instructors while I was at rigger school, he was a Marine that was assigned to parachute rigger school at Fort Lee, Virginia. He actually collects GI Joes and he's in a lot of the GI Joe Facebook groups.
Okay.
So go ahead.
You didn't talk to him about it while.
Oh no, the drill sergeant would ask me stuff about the GI Joes and all that while he's sitting there going through my locker, because I had to stand there and watch him as he's going through it and stuff. He would ask me questions about stuff, and me and him would sit there and chat. Everybody else is over there, instead of standing at parade rest in front of their locker, they're hiding their shit, and he's not paying attention.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
But you never had like deeper conversations with him. It was like he was your boss and he'd see something and he'd talk to you for 5-10 minutes, whatever it was, and then that was it. You never saw him outside.
Drill sergeants aren't very sociable. Like they're just not.
So you had a real life Sergeant Slaughter, is what you're saying.
I think some of my drill sergeants were a lot meaner than Sergeant Slaughter.
But I mean, like, this guy liked G.I. Joe, and here, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No,
which is funny though, because the guy that I used for my Crazy Legs spec sheets and everything, he's still one of my best friends and everything. He was my bunkmate and everything, because in the barracks and all, you got the bottom bunk, you got the top bunk and everything. So when we were at AIT, he had the top bunk, I was bottom bunk. So he had the locker that's on the outside of on the inside of the hall and everything, and I had the locker against the windows and stuff. But my bunkmate is the one that I actually used for the spec sheets for Crazy Legs. And funny enough, when I first saw Adam Rich's original drawing for the retro Crazy Legs, it looks just like my buddy.
Really?
Yes. So I'm pretty sure I posted it on my Instagram and everything, that original picture, and I tagged my buddy in it. No, I'm like, dude, this looks a lot like you. But yeah, he used to pick at me and everything about GI Joes, but now like he'll hunt stuff for me out in California if I asked him to.
That's awesome. It's really, obviously, again, there's a lot of veterans in this community, which is understandable, right? I mean, I'm not just a GI Joe channel, but it's a primary base of mine. So again, B, Evil Dookie, you, a lot of people I didn't realize, a lot of the guys that are new to the channel or whatever, like it is shocking how many how many veterans there are, but not, again, it's not surprising.
Well, I mean, for me, GI Joe was the whole reason I joined. Or it was a big part of why I joined and everything. I grew up with GI Joe, so the military was always there. It may have been a fantastical version of the military, but it still was enough to where I was like, I want to be like GI Joe. I want to go and do some of that crazy stuff.
And that was one of the reasons why you.
Oh yeah. As soon as I found out I could jump out of planes and stuff like that, I was like, where do I sign?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, they talk about Top Gun and how many people went and they wanted to be a pilot at that point. And how many people joined the Navy or the Air Force and never became pilots?
Plus, the other thing that had happened right before I joined too was 9/11. So, I mean, that happened September 2001. I joined in May of 2002. So,
And yeah, I hear that a lot from people that was, how they say it, like, I needed to do something. So
yeah, but I mean, if I could go back in time, though, I would have gone active duty. It would have just, I don't know. I miss not being retired already. Like, I could have retired 4 years ago from the military, and
I
didn't.
I
can still go back, but I'm too old and too fat for that crap now. I'd still jump out of planes, but
I worked with a retired sailor, and there was one day I said to him, I go, "How long before you can retire in the military?" And he said, "What it is?" I'm like, "So I could be fucking retired right now?" And he's like, "You could."
Yep.
But you might not feel how you do. I'm like, "Are you kidding? My body's so beat up." Skateboarding, lifting weights, my body's beat up to begin with.
Paratroopers, your ears, your back, your knees, your ankles, your neck could be too.
I used to work out with the guy that was I called him a Navy SEAL once, and he jumped down my throat. And he's like, "I never told you I was a Navy SEAL." He's like, "I told you I did missions with them." And he goes, "I went through SEAL training twice." And he told the whole story, but he's like, I didn't get the Trident, even though I went on missions with them, I did stuff with them and other special forces. But he's like, "I never told you that." But he said, like, yeah, he goes, "I came down and my knee, I got a fracture on my knee." And he said when he retired, they'd put so much money into him for what his classification was. Because I went back to, I said, I'll join the reserves, but you have to re-enlist completely to go into the reserves, right? And he said, they found out he had hearing loss, and he's like, "Dude, I can hear better than everyone in this gym." And they're like, oh, he's like, "Oh no, you can't re-enlist, and we got to put you on disability." And he said he goes, "I don't want, I'm fine." So he kind of let me in on like all the jumps, and he's like, "Yeah, I fractured a vertebrae here," and fuck that.
And that's, I don't know. For me, I guess I get so. Here, I'm gonna answer this real quick. Yes, barrel roll is modeled after Dwight Stahl. Bomb strike is named after Dwight Stahl's daughter, and then blackout, right? It's blackout. Yep, that's
Okay.
Dwight Stahl's brother.
Okay.
But what was I gonna say? I done lost my train of thought on that one.
Dwight Stahl is
he's the Marvel Legends.
okay. I was gonna say, like,
he was on G.I. Joe in the early 2000s and everything during Spy Troops and all that.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize when you said Dwight Stahl that was who you're talking about. Like, I wasn't putting those two and two together, because I know he's a big G.I. Joe guy.
Yep.
Like, if you follow him on Instagram, he doesn't post very much. But he'll post some of his G.I. Joe stuff.
Yep. So. Yep. Barrel roll it's named after him and somewhat his likeness and everything back in the early 2000s.
And then you said his daughter?
Bomb Strike has his daughter's name.
Oh, okay.
I believe his daughter was born right around the time that Bomb Strike came out. So they named Bomb Strike after his daughter. And then now in the G.I. Joe comics, Bomb Strike is his sister. And then you have Blackout, the Cobra sniper and everything. That is Barrel Roll's brother, but it's also named after Dwight Stahl's brother.
Oh, that is interesting. And I don't think they can do that now. I thought Lenny talked about, like, is it Lenny? I thought they said, like, they really can't do their likenesses.
I don't know. I don't know how all that works. there's actually quite a few people that GI Joes are named after or have likenesses of, but it's
McLeod
so yeah, McLeod.
or is
Bulletproof.
it McLeod? How does B say it? McLeod. So
Yeah. So Bulletproof, from the '90s and everything. He's named after uh, Scott Morris, Earl Scott Morris, I think is his name.
okay.
Which he's a former Marine. Well, he's a Marine, once Marine, always Marine. But he actually worked for Hasbro and everything for a little while, and they did a character after him. And the file card actually has his name on it, but I believe it changes which, like if it uses his first name with a middle initial and he does vice versa.
Yeah. So like Tatsi here says Lennius, and there's a
And he's
bunch
not
of
sundown.
characters. There's a bunch of characters that look similar to Lenny because the beard and mustache.
Yeah.
I think it's I just think it's coincidence that a lot of those sculpts just look similar to him because of his facial structure and his beard. I don't think he's done any that are
He hasn't.
He's really not like that, when I had him on, he talked about it like every classified. He said it's a love letter to my dad. He was super supportive. I hopefully Falcon wasn't.
That, yeah.
And Viper Scott here says Sightline named after Gary Head. He was the last official one.
Yes.
Official. But
Yes.
Lenny did say that was it Nagahide has the same jaw as was it his dentist or something? He used somebody that worked there. He used like their jawline.
Oh yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that,
Yeah.
and they'll have like
they had like an X-ray of them, and they're like, we did it like.
Yeah, but they're not gonna sit there and try to do anything one for one and make it noticeably that person anymore.
And I think the funny thing is when people said that Leatherneck looks like me, and it's like, well, not really. It looks like Ron Rudat.
Well,
it's
not the classified. The classified one doesn't, and everything. Which that figure bugs the shit out of me too.
Because he's short.
No, well, yes.
Why do you hate short people?
All right. No, I don't have a problem with short people.
It's like gung-ho.
I have a problem with Leatherneck being short because he wasn't short. He was tall and everything. And like that 50th anniversary Leatherneck figure like was taller than all the others. That was the perfect level.
He is large.
No, what bugs me with Leatherneck is he's a Marine gunnery sergeant. So that's an E7. He has a damn Army Staff Sergeant rank on his arm. Army and Marine Corps ranks don't look the same. There are differences. And I was still on contract and everything with them at the time. And I'm like, why didn't you just ask? You could have reached out to me. I wouldn't have charged anything. I don't do it to make money. I wanted to help.
Okay, so quickly, Highest says the sculptor used a 3D scan of his teeth as Nagahide's teeth that's what it was. Okay. And then Billy Butch says Leatherneck is 100% you. Okay, so I'm one of those people like it's a fucking toy. Yeah. But I can fully understand someone being aggravated. Now, see, I'm not going to notice this, but someone being like, okay, you have on a Marine who it's a well-known Marine, an Army rank, and that's different. Like those are the little things that they should have right. You know, and I think in General Hawk, there's a few things that people.
Oh my God, yeah. The damn Brigadier General rank, and then also the Hawk, the Colonel rank on his bomber jacket and everything, which is not a Hawk, it's a damn Eagle. So like you can't wear two different ranks. Like that bugged me. And I messaged Lenny and everything right after I saw it. I was like, dude, you can't do that. I was like, that's not right. And he's like, but it looked cool. I was like, no.
See, that is coming truly from a fan, a toy collector. That's like, it looks cool though.
No, it don't. Not to me. It doesn't. Like I'm sitting here and I'm like picking this shit apart, and I'm like, no. And
so Viper Scout says like Gung Ho's cover.
what about Gung Ho's cover?
I think people were mad about it because they.
Which one? Oh, where he came with a PC cap for the first one?
Yeah.
Instead of the 8-point. Yeah, I mean, I understand what they were trying to do there. They were going off of a new design with the game and everything. So they used a PC cap. I mean, yes, Marines and naval personnel don't wear PCs. They wear the 8 points. You only see the Army and the Air Force and I guess the Space Force now and everything that wear the PC caps. Hell, I only wore a PC cap if I was in the field. Typically I wore a beret or I wore my red rigger hat.
So as someone who was a consultant with them, how do you become a consultant with them? Can I ask you that? Are you allowed to?
Lenny approached me.
Okay.
Yeah, he reached out to me, asking if I wanted to help and everything. Because
so he must have known that you served.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me and him started chatting in late 2021, military stuff and all that. And he's like, I could use some help with research and everything. He's like, are you interested? And I said, yeah. I said, absolutely.
Do you know, did they have other people that also helped, or was it just?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
So let me ask you.
I would hope not.
Well, I mean, again, if you're, I can understand why you'd have multiple, and I can understand why. I can also understand why you'd have a naval one, an Air Force one, Marine.
Yeah, but I was doing research for all of them.
Yeah, if you're someone's doing research, then I don't know if you, especially for how small their team is.
Yeah,
you know,
and that's the thing too, is like, you give me an MOS, I'm gonna sit there and look up exactly what all it entails, and then I'm gonna start trying to find what type of gear and stuff like that they use. Like I probably learned more about the military and everything since I started doing that research than I knew before. Like even when I was in, like when I was in, I didn't know that my MOS. So there's an MOS code for the Army and everything. For a parachute rigger, you're a 92 Romeo or a 92R. Well, that's just the first 3 digits of your MOS code. I didn't know that it went up to 9 digits until I started doing all this research. And I'm like, wait, there's more to my MOS? They never taught us any of that, or they never told us any of that. They didn't tell you that, oh, well, you're a paratrooper, so you have a special a skill qualification identifier. And this is Army specific. So I was like, I didn't even know what the hell that was. I was like, I just knew I went to airborne school. I got to jump out of planes. So all these jobs and stuff in the military, especially with the Army, you get like additional skill identifiers or skill qualification identifiers. If you know foreign languages, it adds to your MOS. Your rank adds to your MOS code. All that stuff I learned after the fact.
All right, so let me ask you this, because it sounds like we might have a Marine here, Double Dog, say it's not an 8-point. I think he's talking to Gung Ho and the cover and what.
Yeah.
Can you speak anything on the design that they use? Because they obviously did not use what's the Marines logo?
The EGA.
The EGA. Now,
yeah.
From my understanding, is the Marines do not just let people use it.
None of the military of the military branches let you use their trademarks and stuff. You have to go through their trademark offices.
And my understanding is the Marines are very difficult to deal with when it comes to that, because I was told that they want you to donate so much to their charities. So
No, that's not it. There's a percentage in everything that you have to pay. If your items are made in the US, that percentage is 3% royalty. It's a 3% royalty fee. If it's made outside the US, it's a 12% royalty fee. And this is just for the Marine Corps. Each branch, there are different royalty fees and everything. Like the Army's 10%. I've never seen anything less. Just because it's made in the US for the Army, it's just 10% across the board from what I've been able to find. But the Marine Corps specifically, 3% made in the USA, 12% made outside the US. And there's also some stipulations in there on what country that the item's made in. They will deny you, depending on what country it is, if they know that there is like the possibility that you're using child labor. They will deny it. And China is one of those places to where in the past they've had issues with child labor being in those factories. But I actually called the Marine Corps licensing office maybe about a month ago, and I talked to a guy there, and he said that that they're not as strict as what most people think, and they can get approvals for them. But I mean, still, when you're tacking on 12% to the figures, we think the tariffs are bad. I mean, an additional 12% just because you want an EGA on there. I'd rather them not put a damn tattoo on him at all and just go and get me a water slide and put it on there instead of paying an additional 12 to 20% that they're going to tack on top of it.
So do you have a problem with what they did with the Marines? They created their own, and I messaged Lenny and I asked him about this, and I go, and he said, well, we have a team that does different designs and we pick from that. I go, do you know that people try and say that it is, I asked him, I said, do you know that people feel that that it looks like the Iron Cross?
Yep, I've heard that.
And he's like, when someone's lying, he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, it looks nothing like that. And he's right. And when you point out like what it is, it's like, it looks nothing like what the SS wore.
People are going to interpret shit however they want.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's like certain things that are still floating around. People interpret it however they want to. Boats aren't going to get made. They already said they're not going to get made. Bullshit. Never said it. Not one time.
And you and I just had that conversation because they never said it. And I remember him saying something to the effect of like, he said something to the effect of, well, right now it doesn't make any sense for us to do it. So there's none in development.
Mm-hmm. Everything is on the table within reason. So you're not going to see a house-sized USS flag come out for classified. Sorry.
Which is fine by me.
I don't know. I mean, I got land where my grandmother is and everything right now. If they want to just come and build me a damn HasLab flag, I'll go and live in it. My wife might not want to live with me, but I'll go and live in it.
I think a lot of married men would be living in it.
I'd have bunkmates again.
Yeah, so like I have no problem with it. And when he kind of explained what it was, that's when it killed me, because I looked over at the skateboard that was given to me by Modern Skate, the gung ho, and I was like, oh my god, dude, it's like right there. I've always said it never looked like the SS. It looks nothing like it.
Yeah, and that definitely wasn't. That was not intended, even if it was.
Yeah.
Stuff. So
okay, Billy Butch has any idea why Leather's neck rifle looks like that, especially the undersized carry handle. It just looks odd. Is there some kind of a licensing issue that keeps them from making the weapons look accurate?
Okay, so that's a hit or miss thing. Again, it goes back to the trademarks and stuff. They've got the Airborne wings on Duke. They're on the wrong side, but they're on Duke. Those are trademarked. The rank even the staff sergeant rank on Leatherneck, it's trademarked. So there's stuff that they've done that still technically falls under those trademarks that they may not realize that they could get in trouble for with those trademark offices. Now, when it comes to weapons, yes, some of those are also, they also have trademarks and copyrights and stuff like that, where those companies that create those weapons can try to go after Hasbro and sue them over that stuff. The Mobat, that's a real tank and everything, designed after a real tank. They have to be very careful with how they do it and redesign stuff to make it not have to fall under having to get those licensing agreements with General Dynamics. Like, okay, I got to be careful what I say on that. So, like, I discussed a lot of that stuff with Lenny, and he told me that a lot of it does come down to trademarks, and they're trying to be as careful as possible with not infringing on anything. Now, when it comes to the weapons, an M16, it's been around for so long. There are so many different companies that make it. I don't even know who owns that damn trademark anymore, or if there is a copyright on it. It's like there are certain names out there. Rock and roll. You can't copyright rock and roll because it's considered a common term now. They won't allow anybody to trademark that. But I have an issue with Leatherneck's rifle. I hate the damn carrying handle. I hate that the 203 on the end of it is too large for the size of the rifle, but it has some of the designs for the guns just baffle me. Like, I'm sorry, but there's not an operator out there that's going to use a damn gun with iron sights. All these damn weapons would be heavily modified with upgraded optics, with freaking flashlights or laser, like the laser things and stuff on them, with the foregrips and all that. These weapons, they have so much potential and everything to where they can go and modify the hell out of these weapons. And you go and give us a basic ass M16 with an oversized grenade launcher and a tiny ass carrying handle. I don't understand it.
It just looks odd.
It looks dumb.
It's one of those things where it's like everyone said when you do Leatherneck, maybe not going to do the M16. Maybe you're going to do an M4, but it has to have the 203 on it. The rifle just looks wrong.
It does. It does.
I think most of it has to do with the tiny little handle. It's like I couldn't put my little hand in it. So, Leatherneck's not going to.
Oh, a Valkyrie could carry it. That's about it.
And again, that rifle they made for Valkyrie works really well because it's a different.
Wait, the Valkyrie, did they? If I'm not mistaken, they used the same rifle that came with Snow Serpent and Metalhead and all, which is too damn tiny. And
it works for female.
Great. It works for females. I can tell you right now that the Army's not going to make a smaller M16 or M4 just for a female. They're all the same size.
Okay, so I've always said, so this is something I've always said. I hate when they modify an M16 or whatever, any type of weapon to fit a different character, like a female character, because they're small. I'm a smaller person. You've met me in person. If I'm going to fire a weapon, hold a knife or whatever, if the rifle is too big or the knife is too big, I'm going to find another rifle to use that fits me better, or pistol or whatever, because they make different sizes.
Running around with Ma Deuce.
What?
Yeah, you're not running around with Ma Deuce.
But
I'm not running around with Ma Deuce. That thing's freaking 80 pounds.
So what I will say though about the Valkyrie weapon, it is a different. If it looked exactly like every other M16 or M4, but it is a different style. And like we already talked about, Destro may have created different weapons for the females.
Sure.
And
I
that's
can accept that.
Yeah. With that said, I actually think it looks pretty good on the Snow Serpent. I think the FAMAS looks really good on the Snow Serpent too. It's
I
not what
want
he
the
should have
AK
come
with
with.
the Snow Serpent.
What?
I want the AK with the Snow Serpent.
I'm not saying I don't want that. I'm just saying I actually really like the way he looks with that FAMAS.
I'm tired of the FAMAS or FAMAS or FAMAS or whatever you want to call that thing. I'm tired of
What's
that.
famous now because of G.I.
Yeah. Because of Dusty. And I understand why Dusty got it. Dusty was part of the French Foreign Legion. It's a French rifle. I get it. But I still don't like the gun.
All right. So you talked about like the whole licensing fee and everything. Did you by any chance talk to the Harbinger Studio guys that do the football? I forget what the name of that line is.
Oh my gosh. I know what it is.
You know,
Collegiate Legends.
Yes. Did you happen to talk, 3 of them. Did you talk to them by any chance?
Briefly, but not about licensing.
Okay, why? so I was there, and I just they were moving, right? So I just started talking to the guy. I was like, come on, dude, really? No Michigan players? And this I think was right after they won the national championship. And he's like, and the guy's like, I live in Farmington Hills, Michigan. Michigan will not let us do it. They want so much money, but more than anything, they have an issue because they will not pay the money to put the jump man on the uniform. And Michigan is saying, you have to have everything on here. And we're paying the jump man, which is Jordan.
Yep.
Then they brought up Notre Dame. And they're like, you'll never see a Notre Dame figure because what you were saying about they're going to charge you more either where it's made.
Mm-hmm.
They specifically said, I think, that Notre Dame will not allow anything to be made in China. I think it was. He got really deep into it, and he's like, and where our figures are made, we can't do it. They will.
Didn't they make a Notre Dame figure?
No.
I thought they did. I thought they finally released a Notre Dame one.
Yeah. Nope. He said Notre Dame. That's what they told me. I haven't been paying attention because once they said, he goes, why do you think I always have an Ohio State figure getting knocked down or getting crushed? He goes, I want Michigan to finally be like, come on, dude, we got to have some. Because that's what I want. I mean, Bees Battleground, I think, only got the Army one because it's Army.
I have an Army one. That's my son bought me an Army one at Joe Fest last year. That was his Father's Day gift to me. And then I bought one of each of the Gamecock ones. I can't bring myself to ever buy the Buckeyes one though. I can't stand Ohio State.
I would never.
And as bad as South Carolina is and everything, they have never lost to Ohio State. Ever. We've only played them twice, but we beat them both times.
And I just went, and when the guy told me, and he goes, I'm not from Michigan, but I work in Farmington Hills, Michigan. So believe me, I hear it. I hear it. I want. He's like, but he said he was saying something about, Michigan is obviously big because they were the first football school, maybe the first football team in pros or not, to have the Jumpman logo, which was huge.
I think that's right.
You would think that it would have been North Carolina. So, you would think, but so yeah, and he said, yeah, they want the Jumpman, and they're like, we're not paying. We're already coming to you about this. And they're a small company. It wasn't like Hasbro, who obviously paid a lot for those starting lineups to get Nike swooshes or whoever. Like, come on.
The shoes? They had to pay more for the shoe designs.
Crazy. Absolutely.
And then threw in the stupid NFTs.
That no one wanted.
No one.
Hyatt me says Michigan is a greedy place. Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, Michigan arrogance is real. I mean, it's real. I'm talking about the University of Michigan. The arrogance is real. There's no doubt about it. But I don't care.
Oh, I couldn't imagine if collegiate legends ever crossed over into the NFL and stuff like that, and had to try to get their licenses and stuff, because Jerry Jones is notorious for being extremely restrictive on what the Cowboys logo and stuff like that can be on.
Yeah, but if Jerry Jones is seeing the Eagles and the Giants have them,
he might. Now, I'm not saying he won't put it on a toy, but he is very restrictive on what he does. Like my wife, she's a dental hygienist. She could find every single team logo on scrubs and everything except the Dallas Cowboys. They would not license it.
Really?
I don't know why, but they would not license it. So she couldn't get scrubs with a Cowboy star on it. And then what is it? Bud Light. If you watch the Bud Light commercials and everything when they do the NFL, they have 29 teams, because the Cowboys will not put their logo on Bud Light. They will only put it on Miller Lite.
That is interesting.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
So,
well, Billy Butch says they just released NFL Transformers. So, Billy, let me explain something. Hasbro has more money than Harvest Studios.
Yes.
A bit more. And they did. They did a few of them.
Yeah, they.
God bless Texas.
Dallas. Was it Dallas, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and Kansas City? Yeah. And I think they were going to do another line of them, but those things aren't going to sell.
There is not a huge crossover between toys and sports.
No. I mean, I would have loved to have seen the starting lineups and stuff that they were going to do for NFL or even Major League Baseball. But I'm not a fan of basketball, so I don't really care that they started with basketball. But if it would have been NFL or MLB, I'd have probably bought the entire line. NFTs included. I'd have spent the money.
But I will stand by what I said when they did the starting lineup. Their mistake was doing current players. You don't know where that player is going to demand to be traded the next week after you buy it. But if
I'd have bought Michael Jordan in a heartbeat.
That's what I'm saying. If you go in and you're like, all right, Isaiah Thomas, he was a Piston. He's never going to be in another jersey. Magic Johnson, he's a Laker. I know Michael Jordan was a Wizard, but MJ.
I don't know, nobody counts that.
Exactly. So like, if you went in there and you picked these Hall of Famers and you picked and that's how you started, then you can start moving into it. But I would not have wanted to pick. They didn't do any Pistons, but let's say they would have done one of the Detroit Pistons. I wouldn't have wanted, because I don't know if he's still going to be on it. But you give me an Isaiah Thomas or Joe Dumars, okay, cool. And then you have guys like Rodman, who had a Hall of Fame career as a Piston and as a Bull, and there's your repaint right there.
Yeah, all of his hair colors and all.
Yeah, you go to football, right? Barry Sanders, he was a Detroit Lion. You're never gonna have to worry about him being on another team. Joe Montana, I guess he was a Chief, but let's be honest, he's not a Chief. He's a
Emmett Smith. Nobody counts the Cardinals.
I do, because he has Barry Sanders' record that he shouldn't have.
Now there is one figure that I've always wanted. I wish that Hasbro would find a way to do this, or that somebody would find a way to do this, and it's going to require a donation. It like all your proceeds need to be donated. I would absolutely love to have a Pat Tillman G.I. Joe figure.
Well, you and Stanley Eberhardt, who is a huge Pat Tillman.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that, like, he did that. He joined right around the time that I did. He left his contract with the Cardinals and everything and joined the military. So.
Gun Bunny, Bill Lambier with authentic punching action. Bill Lambier, again, if you guys don't know, Bill Lambier was part of the Bad Boys. The best thing about Bill Lambier is that I've listened to people say, "Dude, who would have won between you and Shaq?" And he'd be like, "He crushed me." He doesn't try and act tough. He's like, "He'd kill me." Ken Best said, "I'd be in for wedding dress Rodman." I think the Tolman one, like that's, that would be a good exclusive.
Yeah,
I agree, because here you have a guy that played for the Cardinals, and he's one of the few people, and he's not the only person that has left professional sports to do something else. But I believe he is the only one in modern times who left to join the military because he felt that it was his duty to do.
Actually, there's another player. He played for the Packers and everything. His name's Darren Coolidge. His name is spelled like mine and everything. He left the Packers and went and joined the Army.
Okay.
And then you had was it Alejandro Villanueva, that when he got out of the military, he went into the NFL and everything, played for the Steelers and
there's been a few guys that have like gotten out but no, and again, there's been a few people that have just retired, and I can't think of his name. There was a running back from the Vikings. He retired at 28. And he went to school to be I believe to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, this is abuse on my body. I've made my money.
Yep.
And I have respect for that.
Oh yeah, I commend you for giving up that massive paycheck and everything to go and do something that's not destroying your health and everything once you're done.
SCS Dog says Bill Lambier with authentic flopping ankles. Okay, listen. Whether or not you think he was a flopper, he'd be considered the toughest fucking guy in the NBA today, because all those guys do is flop. I've watched so many of these videos with LeBron James where he fakes getting hit in the head, and then they show it, and you're like, that guy was like 6 inches away, and he went down like a gunshot.
Again, that's why I don't like modern basketball and stuff like that. Because of LeBron James, I cannot stand it and stuff. I do not care for LeBron James. He is nowhere near the greatest of all time, like he claims to be.
Oh, I'm with you. And when I've listened to people compare him and Michael Jordan, I go, he may have more talent than Michael Jordan, but he wasn't a better player. There's more to being to be the best or one of the best, you have to have amazing talent. But there's other things to it. I mean, can we all agree that Wayne Gretzky is not the most talented hockey player? Not even close. But he had something that other people didn't. Michael Jordan was the same way. He's not the most talented basketball player, but he has more. If you said, when anyone says like, yeah, if I was drafting first, I'd pick up LeBron James. I'm like, if that was true, who's ever picking second was like, thank God I'm dealing with an idiot. Right?
That's like the Browns picking every year.
Another quarterback. You know what? We can just take 2 in our draft. No one cares about football here.
My gosh.
So, since you've discussed being, helping with some of the GI Joe, not design them, but just give them some spec sheets. Can you tell us some of the other figures you may have helped out with?
Yeah,
people are interested in this because they like to hear it, and They like
So
hearing that, like, they're not just throwing stuff at the wall, which I've told people before. I'm like, they do have people they discuss this with.
oh yeah, and like these figures aren't 2027 line and everything. Like those figures were thought out a year and a half, 2 years before they even hit the shelves and stuff. So when I first started, I got a list of I think 6 figures, and this was in January of 2022. So I was told to create spec sheets for Rock and Roll, for Torpedo, Tunnel Rat, Grunt, Doc, and who was the other one? Low Light. So I knew about all 6 of those figures in the pipeline and everything in January 2022. Hell, by the time I started and everything, they already had 3D models of Rock and Roll because I still have the PDFs and everything of the 3D models that I was sent to do markups on for Rock and Roll. They were gray, so I didn't know about the colors or anything like that at the time. I don't know if I can say all what was originally included with Rock and Roll, but he ended up, some stuff got costed out. My apologies for that, with the tattoos and everything, that those tampos and everything caused an item to get costed out. Granted, it's an item that we ended up getting and everything. But like it was a grayed out model. So I marked it.
Rock and Roll came with a good amount of stuff.
He did.
He came with the machine gun, a pistol. He came with, whether people like it or not, the bullet belts. He came with a walkie-talkie. He came with a new helmet.
Yep. He would have come with one more thing that got costed out and everything. But
we got it somewhere else.
Yes, you did.
What figure would that be?
It ended up coming with it. It ended up coming with Grunt and everything. So it was a Steel Brigade helmet.
Oh,
like so. The original intent with Rock and Roll.
We got enough of those.
Well, exactly. Well, that was the intent. That was the intent. Rock and Roll could be used as Rock and Roll, or he could be used as a generic heavy gunner as Steel Brigade. And then the same thing with Grunt. Grunt comes out and he's Grunt, or you could use a Steel Brigade trooper that still said Graves across his chest. So I created the spec sheets for the infantry rifle teams and stuff, and the infantry heavy gunner and stuff. Which that's one thing that bugs the shit out of me right now too, is heavy artillery roadblock. And then all these Skybound comics, they say that Rock and Roll is heavy artillery. They don't understand what the hell artillery is. Like artillery is large guns and everything with massive shells that you load into these guns. That's artillery. Roadblock and Rock and Roll are heavy gunners. There's a big damn difference. You got bullet and then you got shells. And that bugs the shit out of me. Just the terminology. Get the nomenclature right. And like it annoys the piss out of me. But I did the spec sheets for Grunt and Rock and Roll pretty much together because they're still both part of an infantry fire team and everything. You just got one that's like the fire team leader or the rifleman, and then you have the other one that's the heavy gunner and stuff. So those spec sheets were a lot of the same gear and everything together for them. Again, Rock and Roll was pretty much done by that time. I did want them to go away from the M60 and use the LMG that actually ended up coming with Big Ben. That's one of the LMGs other than the 240 that I put on the spec sheet and everything that I would rather see with Rock and Roll because it's a more modern weapon. It's at that time it was still in contention to be the Army's new LMG. It's made by Sig Sauer. And then the same thing with the Sig Sauer, the Spear and everything, or what is it called? The Rattler that came with Torpedo. So another Sig weapon and everything that was in contention at the time. That's one of the ones I threw on there. I also threw on there like an MP7 and stuff. But so for torpedo, I did like a couple sheets of Navy SEAL gear and everything. Well, you've actually seen all of that stuff across torpedo. The IL just used the same body as torpedo. Then you had the recon diver, and all the gear that the recon diver come off of those spec sheets in some way. Now,
Okay.
there were a few items on there that could have gotten updated after I turned in those spec sheets, but I mean, it was still it was still on there when they got around to it, so they used it. It's out of date now, like the dive board and everything, the nav board. But low light, the little wind device and everything that he carries, that Kestrel item was on my spec sheet, and
I believe that's on the O-ring too.
No, the Kestrel device is not on the O-ring. A version of a device may be on the O-ring, but that Kestrel device, like I actually posted on Instagram that I think I actually tagged Kestrel in my original post on low light on there because of the little Kestrel device, and I got a message that says, "Can you take that down?"
Oh wow!
Yeah, again, it's licensing and everything. They're like, we don't need Kestrel finding out that we used a design and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit. I pulled that.
I remember they had some device because like when I went through all the classic reviews, because again, you find some stuff, but I'm glad it's updated compared to what they were using in the 80s.
Yeah. And then let's see, Doc. So Doc, the spec sheets I did because I did Combat Medic, which is a 68 whiskey, but I also did a general field surgeon, like for an officer and everything. So I did 2 spec sheets for Doc because with a Combat Medic, you have more gear that's more associated with like infantry, fire teams and stuff like that. My son's about to go through all that. He joined as a Combat Medic and everything. But I really wanted Doc. I pushed for this and everything. Granted, Doc got pushed back quite a bit and everything from when I originally found out about him. I think he ended up being over a year and a half from the time that I knew about him to the time he actually got shown. But like I wanted to see Doc with an updated vest and a more modern vest and everything instead of just like his khakis and all that.
You made
because that's
mad. You made a lot of mad, just so you know that.
They get the hell over it and stuff. I mean, if they wanted it off there, then cut it off there. I mean, it's a simple fix. You got a little bit extra that you get to clip off of it, and it's still the same damn figure.
Hey, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying you made a lot, and you know you did.
I know I did. I don't care. I was happy with it. That's exactly what I wanted to see with Doc and all. I wanted that extra gear and stuff. I wanted it more modernized. I begged for Doc to come with an assault rifle because I do not believe in the whole pacifism bullcrap in the military. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not going to have any Combat Medic out there. And I know about Heartbreak Ridge and all that and everything, the conscientious objector and all that. I know. But when you're in a special forces unit and stuff, you're not going to be a conscientious objector in a special forces unit. They will not allow you to be in that unit. They will limit you to non-combatant units. And I wanted Doc to come with a rifle. Plus, people would use, oh, well, he was a chaplain. Doc was never a chaplain. Doc was a chaplain's assistant, which a chaplain's assistant is basically a damn chaplain's bodyguard.
But it kind of goes back to Lifeline and everyone going, he was a pacifist. No, he wasn't.
Only in the cartoon
made him a pacifist. And not only that, when people, and there were people that were mad that he came with the gun, Lenny even said, I made it so you could remove it.
Yep.
So if you didn't want him to have it, even though the original one had it. It's kind of like being mad that the Trouble Bubble came with a Televiper that had a black face, but yours.
Where's Jeremy?
He's still active in the groups. You know that?
No, not in the group that he started that shit in. He got kicked out of that group pretty quick.
Well, no, that one's no longer around, but he's still active because somebody's like, he recently made a comment about something, and
So he got a new Facebook name.
No, he has the same name because someone's like, "That's Jeremy," and I'm like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "Cause I have screenshots." I was like, "Shut up."
I know he's not in Jeremy Kimberlin's group because Jeremy Kimberlin kicked him out of it pretty quick.
Zen, are you watching? What group was it? I don't know.
If it's in Zen's group, everybody's able to.
No. It's not in Zen. I don't think it was in Zen's group. But Zen had the screenshot, and I was like, "How do you know that's him?" He's like, "Cause I have screenshots of his name." Zen just messaged our Facebook group, so I don't know if he's watching right now. But he said something stupid again, and it wasn't as stupid. But again, anyone that doesn't know the Jeremy story, I'm sorry. Everyone else that's been in this since the beginning on Facebook knows the Jeremy story. It will live in infamy.
My Televipers weren't black. Good for you.
Yeah. Like, what was the purpose? Like, again, there was no reason, but
and it was the whole I'm not racist.
Yes,
you're kind of coming off that way, bud.
Yeah, my favorite part was I'm not racist. Some of my favorite G.I. Joe characters are Roadblock, Iceberg, Doc. Like, you just named off all the black characters. That's all you did.
Yeah. Hey, look, there's Kimberlin.
Yes. He says, "Yeah, I've seen him in other groups to this day." I didn't realize he said something stupid. I'm sure Zen has it because as Matthew says, "I have black friends. I'm not racist." Okay, so Billy Bush wants to ask this question. He said, "Did anyone ask about the QR code? Any idea why they didn't leverage that? It was right there for them to maximize each figure. Originally, that QR code went back to the original wave,
the original website.
Yeah, the original website that had all the figures from the Operation Blackout game.
Well, it had character bios. It didn't have the figures. It had character bios, and a lot of them were like, for the figures that were released, they used that classified design as the artwork for that character bio. But then you also had a lot of characters that they had not released yet. Dusty, Wild Bill, Ripcord, a whole bunch of them. And they had character bios for those as well. Where they failed was like, that really should have been like where they did the file cards and everything. And like, you have their brand writer now, Mark Beasley. Like, he does the bio, he does the file cards and everything and releases them digitally now. I wish they would have utilized him back then and just done all the bio or all the file cards and everything and just released them all digitally.
He left out Hardball and Big Lob. He's racist.
What about Link?
So again, like, I'm with you with the file cards, and I said this from the beginning. I'm like, first off, almost all the file cards are done. You might have to tweak some things, do gung ho. Like, you have to tweak some things, and then there's some that you would have to do completely new ones. But you can use the original ones.
No, I disagree. Don't use the original ones. Every damn one of them need to be updated.
But if
that's the thing with the MOSs and everything. Like, a lot of those MOSs don't exist anymore. Everything that says primary military specialty or secondary military specialty, when you're in the military, you have one MOS at a time. Yes, you can be trained on a different MOS, but you don't carry it at the same time that you're carrying your current MOS. You trained on it in the past. You don't continue to carry it in the new MOS that you're in. So the whole secondary military specialty, scrap it.
Okay,
put stuff in there like additional skills and stuff like Airborne
but that's what I'm
and stuff
saying.
like
Like
that.
you have the file card that talks about the character. Those are easy things to change. So you already have a write up of the character for the most part.
Yeah.
You have to change a few
Yeah,
things.
and that's the thing, is a lot of the story and everything you can keep consistent,
Yeah.
and they do. They keep a lot of that. Update certain things to make it more modernized and stuff like that. The wording and all, you can fix that. That's not an issue. But it's like the military specialties and stuff like that bug me. If you want someone that's good with like updating the military specialties, go and look at after action report and get the command files and stuff. The volume 2 command files book and everything that they just released. I actually helped Greg with that one and stuff. So I helped with a lot of those military specialties and additional skill identifiers and all those codes and stuff in there.
It's just like, I mean, I think that's where where it was a miss. I think another thing that a lot of people don't realize, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the team is extremely small.
Oh yeah.
Now, I would assume by
They have-
now it's starting to maybe grow a little, but I remember talking to Lenny and he's like, "It's me." Like,
it is. Lenny is 100% GI Joe.
Yep.
Tony's not 100% GI Joe. He bounces back and forth with GI Joe and Marvel and stuff like that. That takes his time.
does he?
Yeah, he works on Marvel and stuff like that. He
I didn't
helps
know
them
that.
with stuff. Yeah. Most of their sculptors and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff is like you have a bunch of different sculptors working on one figure and everything. Like, let's say if it's a new design or something, you may have one sculptor doing the heads, one sculptor that does the gear, another sculptor may do like a helmet or something like that. They move a lot of that
I like
to
to
different
say,
people now.
I like to say, I know Devil Dog watches the fat electrician. It's never a war crime the first time.
It is after.
No, it was not for you. I don't even know how she thought that I was talking to her.
She's a war crime.
No,
Canadians always
a little Amazon person.
Oh yeah. I got to be careful what I say in here for mine too.
But I didn't say anything. I didn't even say anything about her name.
Mine will randomly give me the weather at 6:15 p.m. every day.
We were watching,
and I did not start that.
We were watching a TV show, and she started answering something, and I looked at Olivia, and I'm like, "Back it up!" And sure enough, it hit that part again, and she started repeating the same thing, and it was not her name.
They're always listening.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, but back to the team. So the sculptors and stuff, a lot of them are freelance from what I've heard. I even back when Corey was there and everything, there were still a lot of freelancers and stuff, but Corey was the director over the sculptors. And then I think Fred Axon, 2D sculpts, he did a lot of those earlier GI Joes and everything. Yeah. Who else? Paul Harding. There's a few other ones that still do them, and they'll still post their stuff occasionally on Instagram and their socials and stuff like that. But some of them you may see that, hey, I just did the head. Hey, I just did this part. Then you have certain people that just do like vehicles or the snake armor and stuff. It's a lot of like basically outside contractor type stuff that comes in to assist to get everything done. You got BMAC and Emily both with the marketing and stuff. I think BMAC is primary at this point because I haven't seen Emily on anything in a while.
Their chemistry is not the same. I know so many people don't like Emily, and so many people don't understand what her job is. Considering G.I. Joe was it was like on life support before she came on. And her job is not to tell you what figures. She's marketing. I hate it when people are like, I hate it when people started doing that whole thing. Like they only put Glenda in because Emily wanted a female. Like, wow, you guys know shit.
We would have had Ice Cream Soldier by now if that was the case.
That's what I kept saying. Like she kept pushing for Ice Cream Soldier, and Lenny keeps going, I would never do that figure.
I want to see like Ice Cream Soldier at this point, just because.
I
think it would be hilarious to see him thrown into a HasLab now, just because.
I want Grand Slammer Flash to be the absolute final figure they do in Classified because it will drive people nuts for the next 10 years.
I've posted this on Facebook and everything with the way it's going for the retros this year. Like, and I don't know what's coming for the third wave of retros at all. I knew what the first wave was. I knew what the second wave was long before anything was announced on them. But if you notice the common theme for these retro waves, you got wave 1, you got Crazy Legs that came with the HasLab Dragonfly. And then you've got Zap, that's an OG-13. And then you got a Cobra Trooper of some sort. You get to wave 2. You got Wild Bill that came with the Dragonfly HasLab. Then you got Grunt, that's OG-13. And then you got a Cobra Trooper. Well, the third wave, I think they're going to go a little bit different. I think they're going to do 2 Cobra figures. And then I have a feeling that one of those, the third figure is going to be Flash. And the reason I say that is because he fits both the OG-13 and he's using parts from the Dragonfly HasLab from Glenda.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why people like when people are losing their mind about not having Flash, you're going, they've already designed the weapons. Those weapons go with no one else. I mean, they went with Glenda, but they go with no one else. They are
they go with Cobra Diaco, a Brazilian or Argentina figure. I can't remember.
They specifically go to Flash. And if you're doing Flash, who is Grand Slam in the exact same, right? Like once one comes out, you know the next one's coming.
Right. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm perfectly fine if they decide that Flash is going to be part of the retro wave and he uses those 80s weapons and that dumbass helmet that comes with those figures and stuff with the visor. I hate that helmet. I really do. I hate that helmet.
I loved the visor as a kid, but
it made sense. It made sense as a kid, but I like the modern helmet that came with Hulk and Short Fuse.
For the
that
retros?
Is what I would like. That no. I don't want to see that on Retro Flash.
No. I'm saying for the retros, they should have again.
Yes,
I keep saying it. If you're gonna do retro, you're the one that's saying this is like what you had in the 80s, right?
Yes, and yes. Do that on retro.
Yeah, if you need to take something out, of that year, so you can create the proper backpack, snowshoes. You don't even need the proper AK. You have an AK-47. You could use that, right? That came with the Cobra Officer. You could use that. But you needed the backpack. You needed that rocket mortar. And you needed the snowshoes. And you needed the proper spear gun for
the ill.
Like, you're the one that's saying you're doing it. I don't want a Han Solo that you're saying it's a retro, and then you're going, well, we didn't have that gun, so we just do another gun in there. Like, no, like you need the proper
Han's gun is very specific. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And
so you're the ones that are telling us that. So again, let's say when they do Airborne, if they decide to put them in a retro card, even though I think we all agree the Crimson Guard gun should have come with Airborne, if anything, and that Crimson Guard gun should have been a little different because it was such a unique. It's an M4, and M4 bad guys aren't supposed to have M4s. I know they do, but
the guards was an M16.
Was it M16?
Yeah. Remember back in in the early 80s, they didn't use M4s a lot and everything. I don't think you really saw an M4 in the original line until like Hit and Run. And it was
No. I'm talking about I'm talking about the Crimson Guard. The Crimson Guard
I
had
know,
a
but
unique. It had a unique bayonet gun.
yeah,
It was
it's
nothing.
an
I don't think it was.
M16.
Is it an M?
It's
I didn't
an
even. I
M16.
thought it was just a made up gun.
I'm pretty sure it's an M16. I'd have to go and look at it and everything, but
Either way,
actually, I can look at the figure render.
but that gun that comes with the Crimson Guard, if you're going to do a retro airborne, at least give them that. So it has the bayonet. So there's something that's retro.
Yeah. Oh,
You
it
get
is an M4. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is an M4.
They give you everything else. The backpack is the same. There's really no reason to do a retro.
No, there's not.
Except for if you get to the point where he's no longer being made, and now you're like, hey, this is a chance for us to bring him back out for new fans. Because there are new fans coming in all the time.
Redesigning. No, I would love to have Airborne on a retro card. But I mean, in all honesty, I've already got the figure. I would much rather just have a new version. Like it's time to start getting us some new designs and everything.
What I'm saying is like,
about.
But that's where you need to do down the road. Down the road, you're like, hey, you know what? New people have come into the line, and let's be on the retro card. We already know there are people that want to hang them up. I don't know why. They're big, they're bulky. I don't even like the way they look, to be 100% honest.
I don't even have my 25th anniversary stuff hanging up. They're in boxes.
Viper Scout says, his driver as a retro. Would anyone want that? I cannot believe they haven't done I cannot believe they have not done another Hiss driver.
Well, they have. They used his head.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I'm just surprised at this point that they haven't. Again, I think there are some figures, and this was one of the things that I wanted. That I asked Travis when he was having them on a toy con and mood. He said, "Do you have any questions? Do you guys have any questions?" I said, "Ask them if they are willing at this point." And this was like a year or two ago. Are you willing now at this point to do new, like, reissue figures, but redo the bucks? And he wouldn't ask them. He's like, they're not going to answer that. And then shortly after that, we get Duke, Beachhead, Scarlet. Like, they started doing that. The Viper, perfect example. Like, so it's time that you give us a new Cobra Officer and Cobra Trooper with a new buck and new design.
Well, I mean, we got the Cobra Trooper with retro. They gave us a whole different design for him, which is more like the retro Cobra Trooper, which I liked.
It's the same buck. It still has pin joints and everything. Cobra, yeah.
No, it's a different body for the Cobra Trooper, and I'm pretty sure it is.
I know it's not.
I have all the renders and everything right here on my screen. I save all these things. Okay,
well,
let's see. It does look like it. It's the same damn butt. Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't mind it.
I mean, it doesn't look bad though. I like it.
It doesn't. But it doesn't. But what I'm saying, like stormtroopers, right? They changed the stormtroopers. They modernized them. They made them better figures.
You know what would be the perfect body to use for a damn Cobra Trooper? The one they used for Zap in the green shirts.
Yeah.
Just paint it all blue.
For the most part. But you go and you look at Major Blood, right? They even redesigned his arm, his bionicle arm, though it looks the exact same. It's pinless.
Yep.
So if you're willing to do that and you can't reuse that arm for anything, Destro is another one. I love the Destro figure.
I don't know. I reused the Major Blood arm and everything for my my broken crankcase.
like Destro, like yeah, we're getting the Iron Grenadier Destro, but that buck is old, and
Yeah.
I love the Destro figure. The fact that they haven't put out another one and a new buck is kind of
Version 3 Destro. I
Which
mean,
one's
version 3 Destro was just a different design of the version 1 Destro, and also, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a perfect time to do him and
when they
just,
actually gave him the big collar.
oh yeah, the
Which is
big
what-
puffy collar too.
Which I always hated that the original one just had like this really weak collar. I love the puffy collar.
Yeah, and then old Pimp Daddy Destro coming with that puffy collar from version 3 Destro.
But when you look at what they did, like they did Gung Ho, they did Roadblock, they made them more their retro, and that's what they should do. Resolute,
Yeah, Kimberlin, I get it.
I'm sorry, Resolute Destro.
Oh yeah, I would love that one.
I don't want any of this shit.
I
don't want any.
The Destro I would really like to see is Moneybags Destro from Pursuit of Cobra.
Okay.
The big, heavily armored one and everything, because then they could turn around and reuse that to do a heavy armored Iron Grenadier.
So I was saying this the other day, I think on Circle of Jerks. It might even been on my show. I think it's time to end the numbers. And I think they plan on getting 40, 50 figures and pretty much that being it. I don't think they ever plan on being in the 200s. It's kind of like the UFC. Drop your numbers, all right? Soon you're going to be at UFC 3000. Like, we get it. There's like 2 or 3 a month, right?
Can't believe we're already in the 200s for classified.
That's what I'm saying.
Crap.
And you look at what Star Wars has done, and they do segments where they tell a little story.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what it's time to do. So you can do movie figures, right? Maybe you want to do the movie figures and put them out in classified, but you don't put them in the numbers. Or you want to do Resolute. So, it starts like a new, they're still classified, but they have a different numerical system.
So I can get Rock Block now?
Sure.
I actually like Retaliation. It was much better than Rise of Cobra.
Well, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many different. I said before, I hated Sergeant Savage because it was a wrong scale.
Yeah.
But I think Sergeant Savage would be awesome. And you do it as a precursor to what G.I. Joe was.
I'm ready to see freaking Mask join G.I. Joe.
Do you think it's coming?
With the Energon universe and everything? Yeah, I think it could.
What do you mean the Energon universe? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? I thought that's all over the internet now that freaking Mask is in the Energon universe, and and plus there's
it's classified doing Energon.
Didn't they just announce something subtly?
Well, Rugged Duke is coming out.
Yeah. So I think that we're gonna see Energon universe stuff. I do. I really do. And plus, I mean, you gotta remember too that Energon universe, like a lot of those designs and stuff that they used when they started that come from the classified line, like Rock and Roll with the tattoos, Clutch. Who else was it in there?
Would there be a Rock and Roll hole by any chance?
Do what?
A holy Rock and Roll?
I read that issue of the Energon universe. I haven't read another issue because I was pissed off that they did that and everything. I'm like, damn it, my tattoos are in the freaking comics, and then they gone. I was like, what?
I've never read any of the Energon comics. Like, I don't read.
I have a lot of them,
but I know. I mean, I'm people let me know certain things that are happening. I want them to do it. Like, that's your media that you have. But
I would love to see Risk, the new character and everything. I like that Chameleon. I like their take on Chameleon. Instead of it just being a Baroness repaint, it's a whole different person, and she looks badass.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like when people are mad, and you see it on Facebook, right? I know you're in the same groups I am, and people are like, I don't know who this figure is. Well, the amount of time it took you to come here and bitch, you could have Googled it and found out, hey, this character has been around for, I don't know, 20 years. But it's like going to Marvel Legends. There's multiple Wolverines because he's been in different books. He's in different themes. He's in different universes. Cyclops, Magneto, Captain America, right? There's all these different looks, different books, all these different things. Like G.I. Joe is no different. Transformers is no different.
And that's the thing with the G.I. Joe community now versus what it was like 20 years ago when we were on forums, Joe Sightings and His Tank and the Terrordrome and all those forums and stuff back then. And we're sitting there talking about, oh, they're releasing Spy Troops figures and even up into the 25th anniversary. And back then, I don't remember anybody bitching and complaining about it. I don't know who this character is, and this is not my G.I. Joe and all that crap. It was like, oh, we got a new character. I'm so excited to have somebody new. Now everybody's pissed off because they created a new character instead of giving them the whole OG 13. I'm with you. I'm glad they hold them the way they do. And
for the people, you have the people that are mad and they're like, you know, look at that first couple waves of G.I. Joe. Those aesthetics don't fit. They don't fit what they've done. I can't put those together. I'm like, did you miss the Real American Hero? Did you not see those guys? The neon
Battle Force
2000. How did he fit in there?
Yeah, Battle Force 2000. I mean, people will find anything to bitch about. You got people that were like, well, I stopped buying G.I. Joe in 87. Good for you. I continued for the whole time they've been putting them out pretty much. So I want to see everything. And I don't care if you want to stop when they're done with 87, because if they just appease you, they're not going to appease everybody else.
I've said
you're not going to be happy.
I've said 1,000 times.
Like, we don't need to hear that you're pissed off because you didn't get the figure that you wanted. We don't care.
Yeah. Like, you don't want me running G.I. Joe. I would have never done Cobra La because I thought Cobra La was stupid.
Oh, I would have.
But I'm saying,
that's
like,
the thing.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want me running it because I'm going to do what I would want to do. You want someone who has this broad, that understands, that says, hey, you know what? There are many, many years of G.I. Joe collectors, and they all like different things. Yes, we know the majority of the people grew up from 82 to 87, 89.
Yeah.
But we have to introduce other characters. We have to create new characters. God forbid when they make a new character and they're like, it looks kind of cool, but it's not my G.I. Joe. Like, then don't buy it. Or look at it and go, I have no idea what this character is. I have no attachment to it, but he looks pretty fucking badass. I want him.
And I mean, I'll get on some of these live streams and everything, and I'll post in the comments, I hate this weapon and everything. I wish they had made it more military and stuff like that. And a lot of y'all will fuss at me and be like, I know you want it to be more realistic and stuff like that. But what I can't say in a comment is like, yes, I want realism, but I also accept the fantastical stuff. It's just certain things. Like, I want every damn one of the neon figures. I don't give a crap. I'll take a create a Cobra in hot pink in a heartbeat. Just give me the sticker sheet too. But I want to see all of them. That's just my opinion. Yes, I want stuff modernized. Yeah, I want to see some stuff made a little more fantastical and everything too. You can make me a Star Brigade Duke and everything and all his armor and his crazy ass looking laser weapons and stuff. I'm still going to buy it.
And they found a way to make these dumb characters, Raptor, look cool.
Raptor looks badass in the way they did him.
I love him. Like, if you would have told me when Classified started they're going to do a Raptor and you're going to think he's awesome, I'd be like, you're full of shit.
They basically did Raptor the same way they did the Marvel Cinematic Universe Vulture and everything. They took it from bird feathers and everything that looks stupid and all to, oh, well, I've got technology and stuff now to where I can make a jetpack that is plausible and
it
stuff,
made sense.
or it fits with some kind of future tech. It makes sense and everything. So I like what they did with Raptor. His headdress is still stupid, but I mean, I still like it. Crystal
How do you
Ball.
take it off?
I mean, Crystal Ball, that's the best version of Crystal Ball ever. And everybody hated Crystal Ball. Like, he was probably the most hated figure that I remember when I was little, or even into my 20s and everything, that everybody would talk about. Like, he was number one on everybody's I hate Crystal Ball.
Yes. He's still not great.
It was Crystal Ball and the Buzzbore. Those were the worst two items in G.I. Joe. But now, if they put out a Buzzbore on Classified, everybody's gonna buy the shit out of it because it's a Buzzbore.
I still hate Psych Out.
They did announce Psych Out and stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, like I look at Crystal Ball, I definitely look at Raptor, and I go, they found a way to make these characters that I don't like. Again, I can't say enough good things about the Royal Guard, and I don't even like Cobra.
Oh, he looks amazing,
and he moves amazing. And
now there is one thing that I saw. I'm trying to think of who did that. Okay, so I know this is controversial and who it is and everything, but Destro is my spirit animal, and Bobby Valla. They did a live stream and everything where they talked about the Royal Guard. Bobby had some great ideas with how they should have done the Royal Guard. Release him in a 2-pack with all that same gear instead of one single figure with all that gear. That would have been much better.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue. Hey, listen, I may not like the guy, but I love the fact that he's lowering his prices. I believe there's reasons why he's lowering them, but that's a whole nother story. He actually is. No other company is doing it.
I love his figure line and everything. I buy up as many as I can afford to get and everything. If it's not stopping me from buying G.I. Joe, there are certain figures in there that I really love. Hell, years ago I pitched a figure to him that I tried to get him to make when he was starting the line. It still hasn't happened yet. I hope it does. So if he ever makes a figure named Heavy Drop, and he's a paratrooper or anything like that, yeah, that was my idea. So,
well, first he has to buy the name off of Hasbro. No, I'm sorry.
No, heavy. There is no Heavy Drop that Hasbro owns. But if he comes out with a figure named Heavy Drop, that was my idea.
Well, you'll get no credit for it.
I'm not going to get any credit for it, but it's out here. It's April 9th, 2026 and everything. If it comes out after this, well, either I'm a psychic or it was my damn idea.
Right now, he's finalizing changing the name to Hardy Drop.
Well, I mean,
makes no sense, but
I pitched that to him at Joe Fest in 2019. So
wow, that is a long ass time ago.
Yeah, that, and it was not at the Augusta Marriott and stuff. Then it was at a smaller hotel, and it was a much tighter space and everything. Right across from Bobby Valla was Sergeant Slaughter and everything too. So I took my son to that one too, which is funny because Bobby had all of his prototypes, like 3D printed prototypes for all of his Action Force figures out there. And there's a big old sign that says "Do not touch." And I've got my what was he, 11 or 12 years old. He's standing there and he's picking up all the figures. You can see Bobby's face just don't break it. And I'm dude, just put it down.
We were at PowerCon in 23. And Ed and I are walking around. That's the first time I met Ed. And I forget what company it was, but they're in production now. It might have been Savage Crucibles. And they had the 3D printed same thing. And Ed's like, "Oh, can I pick it up?" And he grabbed it. And I'm watching this guy's face. And he's like, And again, Ed's being, but you never know who's going to grab it and how they're gonna hand. And I watched it, and I'm like, Ed, that guy. He's like, I wasn't gonna do it. And I'm like, he didn't know that. That guy's
Yeah.
face went because I got a whole nother day to go.
What's funny is so when Bobby was at Joe Fest in 2020, my son came with me to that one again. And as soon as my son comes walking up to the Vala booth and everything, Bobby removes all of them and puts them behind the thing. I was like, he's not going to touch them this time. I'm not going to let him.
So anyway, it's been almost 3 hours, and I appreciate your time.
Holy crap.
Yeah, this goes by so quickly. I know you were
It
like,
really does.
You were like, if we were done by 11, and then you put in there, you're like, I can go past. Again, I could go 4 or 5 hours easily, but I have to work in the morning.
Me too.
it
Unfortunately. Oh, and Kimberlin pointed out, he said Psych Out looks good, trust me. Yeah, he does. And again, it's not the version 3, it's not Sonic Fighters, it's Night Force.
No, again, like they have made these characters. How many bad figures have they made? Okay,
Falcon's head skull.
Falcon, and Lenny explained that whole situation to me. He said they'll never do that again. All right, awesome. They rectified that. I'm pretty sure we'll get a retro carded Falcon.
I've heard some stuff where some stuff has gotten pushed back because of bad design and everything. So their QA QC is a lot better, and they're like, oh, hell no, that's not getting released. We're gonna push that and stuff. So I've heard about some of that.
No, Matthew saying they said Night Force, I thought. Yeah, Night Force.
It is a Night Force Psych Out, but they did not mention, from what I recall, they did not mention that it was Night Force.
Yeah, because he showed a Night Force one.
No, he showed
the
Sonic Fighter version, which
looks
looks Night Force, but
okay.
Yeah, it's from the 91 Impel set and everything, but it's a Sonic Fighter version of Psych Out, which is version 3. But the figure itself will be a Walmart exclusive Night Force version, and like Jeremy said, he looks good.
Ultramatch says because of the design, price point, quality, and overall accessories and options, it's really a great figure.
Which one? Let's see, what did he say? The Action Force Infantry Commando 2.0.
Oh,
yeah. I have 3 of them. I was really hoping to get the Steel Brigade head. One of my buddies, he ordered one and he got the Steel Brigade head on it. And I'm like, that I was like, just turn around and sell it and buy like 10 more of those things.
He doesn't like that though.
And
that's what I said.
Money. It's my money. It's my figure once it gets to me and everything. I bought it.
That's exactly what I said.
I can't help what the market does and everything. I'm not the one that said it's going to be $300. The people on eBay did. So
I'm with you.
I'm not going to complain if they want to give me $300 for it.
I said the exact same thing. Just don't try and sell something before you have it in hand. I don't like that. I don't like seeing people put their HasLabs up or get, that Duke figure and they already have it sold. Like, don't do that. Like, you don't have it in hand. You don't know if it's going to get canceled. I like I said, I've been putting some stuff up on eBay, and I had somebody win a bid and then they cancel it. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, I hate that shit. Like, that was supposed to be the whole thing. Like, you won the bid and then you cancel it.
I love the stuff on my
eBay
account and everything. I have Marvel Legends classic, like the Spider-Man retro carded J. Jonah Jameson from 2020. Yeah. I have one on there. I set that at the time when I posted it on there. I set it at a buy it now of like $60 and everything. It's still sitting on there. It's still sitting there at $60. And then they go and re-release the thing last year at Walmart. And I'm like, I'm not going to take the time to change that thing. I was like, I don't care. It can sit there forever. Or do anything. I'm like, I'm not going to change that stupid auction just because they decided to re-release it. It can just sit there. Whatever.
So, Ken Best says artificially inflating eBay prices. Sometimes they are, but again, eBay, I'm not saying eBay, but people decide the price. I agree. Like that 250th anniversary Duke or 200, like it's not out yet. So there should be like nobody should be buying it on eBay. Like
what you talking about? Bobby B's got it.
Not yet. I don't think he does.
He has it. He already posted it today that he had it.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah. Yeah, he got that, and he got.
It's supposed to be out anytime. It's supposed to be. I mean, it's supposed to come out anytime now. Anyway.
It comes out in May, I believe.
Was it May? So, maybe yeah. The other one comes out earlier. One of them comes out maybe May 1st.
Let's see. Ramp Rats come out May 1st.
I saw that.
Let's see. Duke.
I see what Ken's saying. Cancel bids still count as sold. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they don't go back and mark it as a non-sold thing. It still shows in the completed listings and all.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
and this again.
He's got Rot Claw in the Deinonychus already. Bobby B does. Yep. Bobby B lives in the factory back room. I wish that were true so he could give me some details on what's coming. I need me some inside sources and everything inside those factories that can tell me what's coming. Like all these people with these leaks and everything.
Evil Dookie says Bobby has a DeLorean in his garage.
Oh, that would be great. I'd be going back to the 80s and buying up all the old G.I. Joes. Specifically, I'd be sending off for a ton of freaking mailaways.
Fuck that, dude. If I went back in time, I would. I said this. I remember buying a G.I. Joe, and it was like they were 260, 269, and my dad looking at the end cap of Star Wars figures and going, you can get 3 of these figures for one of those. And I'm like, I don't want those. I would walk into every end cap of fucking Toys R Us and buy every Star Wars figure and pack them perfectly in bins and then sell them.
Yeah.
Because they're worth so much more.
Yak face. Yak face. Yeah.
Kimberly says, no, back and invest Microsoft and Apple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was it?
Google.
There was the one movie. It's this one movie where this guy communicates with himself, his past self. It's actually the guy who plays Hawk in G.I. Joe. And the line Dennis Quaid. And he says, which is actually kind of funny. He's like, remember Yahoo. Which right now I'm like, remember Yahoo? Yes, I would bet on baseball.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's hindsight's 2020, right?
Oh yes. Anyway, Darren, thank you so much. 3+ hours. Like I said, I could go 4 hours. Matthew would love it, but I have to wake up in the morning. Have to wake up a little early and get Olivia get to school because I have a meeting in the morning. So I get the nice little round trip just to go in and my boss tell everyone, yeah, we hired someone who starts Monday. I already know. So I don't care.
Thank God it's Friday though.
Yes. Thank God. Actually, not thank God, because I have this association meeting and everything. So, if you want to find his Instagram, and you do a wonderful job of breaking down what figures are being made from what and what's new tooling, in the description you can find his Instagram, Airbornes Customs. Again, you do a wonderful job, better than most people that try. I don't even try. People yell at me and like, that's not. I'm like, I don't care. You know how many fucking parts they've made? I'm not trying to figure out what goes where anymore.
And that's the thing, is I wish I just had the time to go back and continue doing them and stuff. I need to knock some of the new ones out and all, but I also need to go back and do some of the old ones and stuff too. Because for me, like, I like to know where the parts came from and all.
I do too, but I'm not. I don't have time to do that, when doing these reviews. So, but anyway,
Kimberlin will call me out real quick if I post something on there and have a wrong part listed. He'll be like the first one up there. Nope, that's not that part. It's this part, and I'm like, oh shit. Because you can't go back and edit the damn pictures in Instagram. I'll have to delete the thing and redo it.
Oh! Wait till you say something wrong on in a review, and everyone wants to point out how wrong you are.
Yeah,
it's like, sorry, your free view had something that was incorrect. Or when someone has to correct me, and I'm like,
he put my bad. No, I appreciate it, Jeremy.
Like, I'll tag or I'll pin a comment saying, I know I was wrong about this, and yet people will still point it out. Like, you see the comment there that's pinned to the fucking top? Yes, I know I was wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, go follow his Instagram. It is in the description. At least it better be.
Well, it's right there by my name. Same thing.
Yes, Airbornes Customs. You can't miss them. Anyway, thank you so much. You're not going on any other live, so I don't need to ask where they can find you other than on Instagram.
No, not going on anything else right now. Nobody's asked, so I appreciate you.
Now they will.
Me on here and everything.
Now people are going to be like, oh, we got to ask. So
he has info. Let's get him on here. Yeah.
Just wait. Yep. All right. Take care. I will see everyone on Monday.